Rubs and Barks, 97.5 FM on the radio. Good morning. On the Fanatic app, what is up? Thank you for listening. Good morning, everybody watching live on YouTube. We have a community of chatters that check out the show every morning, and they put their 2 cents in, and we review that at the end of the show. Good morning to everybody watching on YouTube. Remember, subscribe to 97.5 The Fanatic on YouTube. It's all you need. It's all you want. As everybody's off today. I was off yesterday, not having fun. We'll talk about that coming up later. But I am back today and not better than ever. But it's not a skeleton crew. It's a little bit of a different crew. And we say good morning to the co-founder and president of Club Hertz, who's running the board today and producing, Brendan Petrilli. What's up, BP?
What is going on, fellas? How are we doing today? Let's get after it. Let's have some fun. What a show to follow up, though.
Why? Just with John signing off?
Yeah. For my first day back in over a year and a half, and then we got to say goodbye to a radio legend around here.
Yeah, I don't know you as a producer. I know you as a promotions guru because obviously I just came back in October. But I'm excited to work with you today, there, BP.
Oh yeah, I appreciate the opportunity here, John. Let's have some fun today.
And we say good morning to on updates, and he's going to sit in the number 2 chair today. But it's going to be mostly me yapping, and then I'll be throwing it to these guys. How would you describe Sean Rodman? We call him the Worm. How would you describe him, BP?
Sean's a glue guy, is how I describe him. The guy and I, we were hanging out last night, putting the show sheet together.
I saw.
Yeah, we were having a good time over at Canal Side. But yeah, Sean's a glue guy, and maybe some people would say worms. They provide that silk type of glue. So I mean, it's a good guy at the end of the day.
Good morning, Sean Rodman. What's up, Worm?
Good morning. How are we doing today?
We're yacht rocked up.
I know. I'm not yacht rocked up. I missed the memo. I don't have any shirts that would fit this memo, unfortunately.
It's a Yacht Rock Friday. See, Petrilli normally wears the Yacht Rock shirts anyway, and I do it on Fridays. There's not a lot of Yacht Rock Fridays left, guys. You know, I have sunglasses on just for the visual to start the show, so good morning to everybody. But yeah, I'm yacht rocked out. You still do have a summer-type feel with the Bubba Gump T-shirt.
I tried to find something summer to get me into the Yacht Rock Friday.
Nothing says summer like a Bubba Gump T-shirt there, Robin. Good work out of you. All right, well, listen, we have a lot to talk about today, and it's going to be a lot of Phillies. Hembo. I've never talked to Paul. Hembekides. Is that correct how I pronounced it? I know him.
That is correct.
But he's known as Hembo. He's actually, I didn't know this before I started doing some research this morning on what we were going to talk about. He's a former college baseball player. He's not just some nerd like me that decided that he wanted to get involved in sports, and he does big things in baseball up at up in Bristol for ESPN. He also is he is a best-selling author. He's a really, really sharp guy, and he's coming on to talk about the Phillies and what they should do at the trade deadline and his thought on the team right now. But yet he's also went to LaSalle, went to grad school at LaSalle, so he knows Philly. So it's going to be really cool to talk to him coming up at 11 o'clock because that's the big story of the day. The Phillies trade deadline, MLB trade deadline's coming up on Monday. What should the Phillies do? And actually breaking news, I don't know if the guys talked about it because obviously they were doing that last segment saying goodbye to John. But Andrew Painter is not only in Baltimore tonight, he is going to make the start for the Phillies. And I'm mildly surprised. I went back and I looked at his game logs, and I pretty much follow everything Phillies minor league baseball, but I just assumed based on his performance that unless he went down there and it's like, wow, he's really turned it around, that he was going to be in the minors for the rest of the season. I mean, honestly, I had no real expectations. I didn't need to see him again this year. Well, it's not like he pitched his way back up to the majors. So if you look at the 5 starts since he was sent down for AAA Lehigh Valley, 4 innings and a run, 6 innings and a run, 2 2/3 and 7 runs, 5 innings, 2 runs, 6 innings, 1 run. And, like, sometimes you look at the box score and you can't really tell how you pitched, right? Like, could have been fortunate, could have been lucky, could have been unlucky. But for the most part, it kind of looks like what you saw from Painter this season, which is uninspiring. Now, they don't need him to come up and be a savior. Beginning of the season, there were some decent expectations. I just wanted him to start and be in the season the entire year, which wasn't the case. But he made it back up here. So let's see what he's got. Let's see if mentally maybe he's changed things around and he has a little bit more confidence. But the biggest thing from when he was up here until they sent him down in the middle of June, his stuff just isn't great. He's got good velocity on the fastball, but if it's straight as an arrow and guys are clubbing it, then that's a problem. And then he lost confidence in throwing the fastball, and now he's relying on secondary pitches, and guys sit on them. And he just doesn't have command of those secondary pitches. Remember, before Painter had Tommy John surgery, he had a handful of innings above single A. And this is a guy that just breezed through the minors after being a first-round draft pick out of high school. So at 20 years old, he was set to be a major leaguer. He has the elbow issue. He has Tommy John surgery. He misses 2 full seasons before he's back this year. So the stuff that was there before that had movement, the secondary pitches never developed on anywhere of a near major league level. And that's what you're seeing right now. And that's what you saw this year was just that he just wasn't ready. The stuff wasn't there. We'll see where he is. It's interesting that they're bringing him back up. I guess why the hell not? I don't think BP and I were talking before the show. Is this a move with the trade deadline coming up? They think they put him out there. He has a good start. Now they can use him in trade talks. He could also go 2 innings and give up 7 runs, and you could tank his value. So I really don't think it has anything to do with the trade deadline, and I could be totally wrong. But I'm just now it's a little bit of a rub to watch the game tonight. Not that I wouldn't, but it gives you like, all right, let's see what Painter looks like tonight. Hopefully he looks good. But the big story still remains the trade deadline. I wasn't on yesterday, so I didn't get a chance to talk about Bryce Harper and Dave Dombrowski and Don Mattingly, because Don Mattingly came out and he had comments about Bryce Harper, more or less saying like, hey, like, you know, Bryce is going to speak his mind. He's the star, but really didn't seem like that he wanted to hear Bryce Harper saying we need to make moves. I'm like, so with another day and a half or 2 days to reflect on what Bryce Harper said, my initial reaction was, yeah, he's right, and he should say it. I have no problem with him saying it. Now, you typically don't hear players come out and say, we're not good enough, we need help, we need pitching, we need hitting. So I was thinking about it. I'm like, all right, is part of the problem with Bryce Harper that guys like him, but maybe there's a little bit of grumbling behind his back because of things like that? And I don't know. For the most part, I think everybody likes Bryce, but maybe the longer that he's around, the more some of the things kind of rub you the wrong way. But here's the reality, and here's the bottom line. The Phillies are where they are right now because of Dave Dombrowski. Dave Dombrowski has done a poor job of constructing a roster. The problems and the issues we had at the end of last season, the problems and the issues that we had going into the season are there. It's the offense. It's the overly reliance on your star players that aren't producing because Trey Turner doesn't look like the player they signed. Because when you rely on Harper and Schwarber to drive your lineup and they're not doing it, because it's hard to do that every game, then you struggle to score runs. We don't have to go through the numbers. We were talking about it a couple days ago. When they score 3 or more runs, this team, it was 52-17. When they don't, they're not good. Go figure. So if you can get a lineup, you can construct an offensive lineup that can score 4 runs, you're set. And then you're going to be able to breeze into the playoffs. Right now, if they don't watch it, they may not make the playoffs. Now, I still expect them to, but that doesn't mean that they're going to. And they need to make moves. It's a matter of this at this time, and this is the question for the fans, and this is the question for you out there today. What do you want them to do? Because I heard a lot of selling stuff, and you see a lot of selling on social media. They're not going to sell. So I still think it's cute and funny, and we can talk about it. But really, it's a matter of, are you pushing your chips, and are you giving up your better prospects to make a bigger move, or are you getting Jeff Hoffman and Varsho, and that's going to be your moves without getting rid of a lot of your top guys? Now, like as we get closer to the deadline on Monday, I wonder if the better move isn't just to kind of be like, all right, let's improve the team, but not give up some of the top guys. There's not going to be a full season next year. I'd be shocked if there was a full season next season. So, all right, you go for it this year. If you don't get it, then what? Now you're waiting. Now your team's a little bit older. So I'm conflicted. It depends who the players are that are available. If there's a legit bat that can change your lineup, then you go out and you get them. But if we're talking about you're overpaying for a average to above average player, I'm just not so sure. 610-632-0975. 610-632-0975. Middays with Marks. It's Marks, BP, and the Worm, Sean Rodman, with you today. We'll take your phone calls. We'll take your voice memos in the Davis Honda text line. It's the same number as the regular phone line, 610-632-0975. The choices for the Phillies are simple. They add, they try to make a big move, or they kind of stand pat. And we'll open it up to the sellers as well. Dombrowski's going to make some moves. What moves should they make, and what moves should they make as far as how big they are? We'll break it down coming up next. Middays with Marks, 97.5 The Fanatic.
Well, my friends, the time has come. Raise the roof and have some fun. Throw away the work to be done. Let the music play on. Everybody sing, everybody dance. Lose yourself in wild romance. We're going to party, caramba, fiesta.
All right, we're back Middays with Marks. You got to go through this one more time, and then you get the all night long. Here it comes. Tell them, Lionel. Yacht Rock Friday. Only got a couple left. Last day of July today. Trade deadline on Monday. Where is the summer gone? It goes so fast. Middays with Marks. I actually, my text line, the Davis Honda text line on my phone, is blowing up with friends, to Pete and Bob, who say, I think it's the what I was talking about earlier. Screw the Phillies. They're not winning anything anyway. And I understand it, because I'm frustrated too. Everything that we worried about in the offseason when Dave Dombrowski was celebrating losing to the Dodgers and showed no urgency in doing anything in the offseason, and then it was like, hey, Dave, wake up. Bo Bichette's still not signed. You might be able to get him, huh? And then they tried to get Bo Bichette. He ended up not coming here, which might have been a good thing. But it didn't solve the problems on the offense. And a lot of times, and I understand this, You try to get to the trade deadline. You know you go into the season, and you know you have some holes. And as long as you can play above 500 balls, as long as you can honestly do what the Phillies are doing right now, then you make a couple moves and bang, you go for a little bit of run. Like, it was on today's date, what year was it, 96 or 97, whatever, 97, I think. Mark McGwire got traded from the Athletics to the Cardinals. So it's not like the big players don't get moved at the trade deadline. Now, there's not going to be a trade like that this year, but my point is that you can change your team if you can make the right move, but there has to be players on the market to do it, and you have to be able to have the assets to make the trades. And I really am, like, don't go all in. Go all in. Trade your prospects except for maybe this guy or that guy. Go get guys to help this team. It's hard to envision the team playing differently because what we've seen them play like right now. But with a bat that gives them some energy in the lineup, is this a World Series team? BP, I'll start with you, Brett Petrulli. If they add, not a star, but if they add a Bader-type player like this year, is this a World Series team?
A Bader-type player is tough because you're floating that line. If you do that, you need Bryce and Kyle and Trey and Bohm and Stott and Marsh to be the guys that you've seen, like to step up. If that's the guy you're going to go for, and a guy like Bader, you need the guys you have here to step up and be the superstars that they are. And I understand the people around the Philadelphia area where they're like, well, we haven't seen that. So then, no, they're not going to be a World Series contender if that's the only move that they make.
What would you do?
I mean, you know me. I forget the kids. Trade them. Go try to make and strong arm the Houston Astros and get me Yordan Alvarez.
All right, stop it. No, but they're not trading Alvarez.
Well, why not?
We have to.
They're an old team that are looking to get younger. The guy's not getting younger out there. The guy, he is a star. But you can't go out there and just, Dave is the Hall of Fame GM that everybody says that he is. He can't make that big-time move, that Chris Sale, go win me a championship type move.
I mean, you're not going to get Ohtani, but it's the same type of move other than the Astros. But here's what I'm saying. If I saw has somebody reported that he's been being offered out there? It's like if we have to go with something that's realistic, and maybe what you're saying is realistic. It seems very, very unlikely that's going to be the case.
For sure.
So of the likely scenarios, I'm going to go to the worm here. So on Robin, of the likely scenarios, what should the Phillies do?
I mean, what should they do is they should probably just stand pat, if not sell. What they're going to do is they're going to buy. Like, I just don't think this team's going to be good enough to whatever they add at the deadline because there's no outfield bat, there's no power bat that's going to be available that's going to impact this team to me. I'm not sold on it. They're going to have to go all in on the pitching aspect of it, and then you're going to go for four very good pitchers potentially. They don't have the strength to go after Skubal. They'll go after like a Glanzman from Toronto.
It's going to be Glanzman and Varsho and Hoffman.
Yeah, that's what it's going to be, and it's going to be underwhelming.
But you know what? Harrison Bader last year was underwhelming until he started playing.
That's true, and they're going to make the team better. They're going to get us all excited for the playoffs, but we know what it's going to be like come October. It just they have so many flaws.
They're not going to be good enough. Doesn't it feel like this team is, like we have say the same things that we say about the 76ers. Oh, well, if they can just get Joel Embiid healthy, all they got to do is get him to the playoffs. If he can play in a series with Joel Embiid, MVP talent, right? It's the same thing with the Phillies, the starting pitching. Oh, well, if the stars can hit and you have the starting pitching, that's how you win. And it's true. It's more true than Embiid staying healthy and then the Sixers are going to be fine. Sixers were never going to be fine just with Joel Embiid. With this team, it's not just about the bats. It's about the bullpen, too. Because, all right, seventh inning of a playoff game, who are you going to? Who's your seventh inning guy? Who's your eighth inning guy? It's Kerkering and who?
Hefty. My boy Hefty Lefty.
Bowen's been one of their best pitchers. It would have to be. And you didn't sign Bowen to be your eighth inning guy in the playoffs. Now you make a trade and it's Jeff Hoffman. I've already seen that. I've already seen what happens to Hoffman when you put him in a high leverage situation, including in the World Series last year. But I've seen it with the Phillies too. So if that's what you're literally, if they're the moves you're making, okay, we're gonna be on board and hopefully they win. But you can feel the fan base kind of slipping off of this now because we've seen it too many times before. And they've painted themselves in a corner where adding the Bader of this year and adding 2 bullpen arms on the expiring contracts, what's that really going to do? Probably not a lot, right? It'll sure him up for the rest of this season. He should do it. See, that what I'm saying is that they're going to make moves. They should make moves. But do I really need to make a major move if you can do it? Are they good enough if you make a major move? I know it depends on who we're talking about, but I'm almost fine with them doing what they're going to do, which is add a couple of bullpen arms and probably add Bader, and that's it.
I've accepted the fact that they're going to make moves and they're going to buy at the deadline. To me, though, I'm to the point where I don't think that there's going to be anything out there that's going to make them good enough to beat the Dodgers. And that's the team that they have to beat right now. The Dodgers are obviously what you're chasing right now, and the Phillies are miles away from the Dodgers. And we've seen that over the last, 11 days. They get swept by the Marlins. You lose 2 out of 3 to the Dodgers. They just, right now, you go to the bullpen, then the hitting doesn't, then the bats don't work. And it's an every other day, it's a different problem.
Is there a Jaylen Brown-like move for this Phillies team? Like we're talking about the Sixers. The Sixers were dead. All of a sudden, you get Jaylen Brown in here, and now we're getting LeBron James, and we're all back in. We're contenders in the East.
Well,
Can the Phillies go out? And that's why I was pushing that bigger name is who's that Jaylen Brown type acquisition here that we can go out and get and inject some life into this team. We're like, hey, now we're talking. Now we can go on that run.
I mean, it's a really good point because we rolled our eyes at Sean when he said to make a call to Jaylen to get Jaylen Brown. Like, what are you going to do? Trade on Paul George and some draft picks? Hit the laugh track, right? And they did. So, honestly, I Dave Dombrowski. His resume speaks for itself. I think he's the problem right now. Wouldn't you agree? Because you're right. What would Ruben Amaro do? What would Ruben Amaro do right now?
Yeah, Ruben would go try to find
He'd be
Doc.
aggressive, dude. He would, and he wouldn't have came into the season with this team right now. That just like we have a good club. He was very content with standing pat, and then I think someone woke him up and was like, "Bo Bichette's available," because what they did was they came back essentially with the same core, and I don't care how many different players are in there. Crawford hasn't had an impact. Marsh has ran out of steam. JT Realmuto at the plate, you cannot count on it, and they gave him a 3-year contract. What they needed was a right-handed impact bat, and they didn't get that. So can they potentially get it at the trade deadline? I do think they can, but it doesn't solve the overall problem of the team because the team's the team. All right, Davis on the text line, phone line, send your voice memo, 610-632-0975. Ken in Springfield has something on the Sixers, though, I think. Kenny, what's up, buddy?
Good morning. My name's Tim.
Hi, Ken.
I'd like to talk about LeBron.
Okay. It says you're at the Springfield Mall. Do you work at the Springfield Mall?
Yeah, it's Springfield Mall, yep.
Where do you work?
No, I'm just hanging out in the mall.
Gotcha. What do you do at the Springfield Mall when you hang out? Is there an arcade?
No, I just walk around.
Gotcha. All right. What you got on LeBron, Kenny?
So how do you think Tyler Tremaski and Beacon and all them will help LeBron?
You talking about VJ Edgecombe?
Yeah.
See, I think Ken that LeBron's going to help them is really what it is, right? Like this is, and I appreciate it, buddy. Yeah, Uncle Jamie. I had to have both of my cars inspected by the end of July. So I was down. Uncle Jamie was able to make it happen in just a couple days. But a couple of the guys down there know I do sports radio. All the people at Central City Toyota, and the one guy said, and I think it was it somebody? It wasn't Ray, but it was somebody. I know my one buddy Jately. People renounced their season tickets to the Sixers. People literally, I remember at the end of the season, they got swept by the Knicks. And there were we had people calling in saying they weren't renewing. They've already told the Sixers they're out. He did the same thing. So then they signed Jaylen Brown, and he's like, this is pretty interesting. And then they did. So then when LeBron signed, everybody went crawling back and trying to get it. So now it's like everybody wants opening tickets, and now there's too many people that want it. If you just would have held on to those tickets a little bit longer. But think about where the 76ers were, however many weeks ago or whenever. Season ends, and literally people, I'm sure they had a lot of people that dropped their season tickets because they wanted, I know for playoff tickets, typically they want you to put down like a deposit and all this other stuff. And it's like, hang on a second, like what? What are we doing here? But yeah, so he was like, I dropped my season tickets. Now I had to come crawling back. And like, I'm getting them. It's a partial plan, but I don't know if I can get opening night tickets.
Yeah, my dad texted me yesterday. He said, looking to get to do 2 tickets for this upcoming season. And I was like, I don't know if you can even get them at this point. It feels like everybody's already in.
I can't imagine they have season tickets available. Huh?
I can't imagine that they do right now.
Patchouli, do some legwork here.
Maybe it's a partial plan.
Yeah, I honestly, why wouldn't you do it? If you can get a partial plan right now to the Sixers, why wouldn't you do it? You could sell the tickets.
Exactly.
Look at the secondary market on these tickets. And they have this dynamic pricing stuff where there's a lot of tickets already out there, and it just goes with, they just have them out there. So they don't even want to have they don't want to have 20,000 season tickets because they want to be able to make more money with that dynamic pricing thing that they do. But anyway, yeah, I mean, like it's interesting because I don't want to say the Sixers kind of fell into it because they did with LeBron, but if they're not out there being active, Patchouli, you might be the smartest guy on the show today, honestly, because you bring up Alvarez and I roll my eyes at you when you do it because it doesn't. But that's not something Dave Dombrowski's probably looking for.
Yeah, they have to make that move that nobody's thinking about right now to really flip this thing on its head because, yeah, it's right. Like, I'm a season ticket holder for the Phillies, right? I've been for the last 5 years. I'm debating whether I want to renew for this upcoming now because of the lockout and other things too, but I'm kind of sick and tired of going down to the ballpark and watching the same product every single year happen over and over and over again. So it is a similar situation now. Do I be like Diamond Hands like Ray Dunn and his boys and keep my Sixers season tickets and all of a sudden we're sitting on a gold mine, or do I get out if they really don't make any moves at the deadline here? It's going to be very fascinating the next couple days.
Yeah, I think it's pretty predictable what they're going to do. Jeff Hoffman, Varsho, maybe another reliever. Does anybody expect a blockbuster here? I don't know if anybody has opinions on the Davis Honda text line or with voice memos or anything. 610-632-0975. It's the first step of this run. I don't remember what it was like prior to Dombrowski getting here because I know then it was everybody blamed Gabe Kapler. It's his birthday today, by the way. Happy birthday, Gabe Kapler. But I remember when the Phillies started making the playoffs. Of this run from when they started making the playoffs, for the most part, Phillies fans have been good. We've been happy. It felt like they had a chance. Now, every year they lose, it does feel like that window closes a little bit more. But at this point, the apathy feels like it's starting to set in. I am shocked at how many people want them to sell at the trade deadline and aren't advocating me. Normally, fans want big moves. Normally, fans want, like swing for the fences, trade all your guys, go get this star athlete. And it's like, okay, well, yeah, like that's not realistic that they're going to do that. But still, fans want to improve their team. It doesn't seem like Phillies fans want them to improve their team for the most part. If anything, I would say the strongest or the loudest opinion out there right now is screw them. They're not going to win anyway. The Phillies aren't going to sell. That's just unrealistic with where they are and how much money ownership has spent. And like Dave Dombrowski's not being like, oh, yeah, okay, we'll sell. You've already spent $200 million in payroll this year. We're just going to start selling off pieces. But it's interesting because if the team's paying attention to what the fan base is, how they're feeling, it's not great right now. And a big move could really, really change that. Patchouli, what do we got on the Davis Honda text line?
Yeah, on the Davis Honda text line, we got Kate from PA checking in. I'm so over Dombrowski. Her words, not mine. He's done some good things, but it doesn't seem to have the drive to be better. Would Howie ever say in the offseason that he's content? No GM or PO, president of basketball operations, should ever be content.
It's true. I said it after the press conference where he sat up there with his legs kicked up on the dais where he sat. That's what it sounded like. He didn't actually have him up there. He was content. He was 100%. We have a good club. How many times has he said we have a good club? It's a running joke. I can't pull up my board right now for whatever reason.
Not coming up.
Yours isn't either?
Mine's frozen at the moment.
Yeah, so we can't even use we have a good club board. That's all right. But that's literally, he came in. See, the problem with Dave Dombrowski, he's 70 years old, is he's been around baseball for so long that it's almost like a teacher that has been teaching. Your microphone's on, dude. It's almost like a teacher that's been teaching for 30 years. They've been through it so many times that not that they're going through the motions, but they've seen it, so they don't overreact to things, right? So Dombrowski realizes, all right, we probably don't have the bats in the lineup. I'll get them at the trade deadline. Here's one thing that he didn't anticipate, that their bullpen would be kind of a mess right now. He put real money and real moves into the bullpen last year. And it hasn't worked for a variety of reasons, but mostly because you put your eggs in the Keller basket, and it wasn't working, and now you're not going to get anything out of him. He's probably going to miss next year, too. So, but Dombrowski, because he has this resume and he has all these other things, he doesn't have the urgency that somebody else would. Howie Roseman, every year, if they lose, and you're not going to win every year, obviously, but I try to understand that, like after last year when people are pissed, and it's okay to be pissed after the season, but you don't fire everybody and you don't get rid of everybody because you don't win the Super Bowl last year. They won the Super Bowl the year before. So it's really, really hard to win every year. And they won the division last year, the Eagles. But does that mean Howie Roseman came up and he said, oh, we're not going to win every year. And, if the ball bounced this way, if the kicker would have made this kick. Dave Dombrowski literally went up at the press conference at the end of the year and said if the umpire would have called this strike 3, if they would have thrown it to the other side of home plate, he was out. If this happened, if that happened, what he told you was, we are absolutely fine. And I was disgusted that was his behavior. I really was.
Line.
There should be absolutely no surprise that the Phillies are where they are right now. And now Dave's got to be able to be the one to get it out, to get him out of it. And 2 years ago, it was Austin Hayes. Didn't work. Last year was Bader. Worked very well. And Dombrowski also didn't make the mistake of re-signing Bader. Bader's been a disaster. And he hurt himself on a scooter, by the way. I don't know if you heard that story. He's been hurt anyway. He hasn't been playing because of fasciitis, plantar fasciitis in his foot. And he was on a scooter. And I guess he got in a scooter accident. And he ran in the back of a fire engine in San Francisco, a fire truck.
The scooters, man. Like some of these things now, I wonder if it was probably one of those electric ones, too, where he was just kind of cooking around and just bang, right into the back.
It was at 1:39 a.m. as well. So it's possible / probable that he wasn't 100% sober.
Yeah.
But anyway, I mean, that's the problem is that now you're relying on hoping you get a part-time / platoon / average player, and he comes in and you're able to get those results and get what you're looking for. After, like 2 years ago, it didn't work. Last year it worked. Then he got hurt. And then it didn't work.
And that's the thing in baseball. This happens all the time. Guys get hot for month stretches, especially on rental deals. And sometimes it flounders as well. I mean, you mentioned Bader. We saw Alec Boehm a couple of years ago was an all-star in the first half of the year and wasn't very good the second half. Marsh this year right now. He's having a horrible month of July. Hopefully he turns it around, but we'll have to see.
All right, that's the Worm, Sean Rodman. Brendan Petrilli, the co-founder of Club Hertz, will have he's cooked up a Hertz segment for us later on, a game.
I did hear that.
It's going to be Jalen Hurts-ism or a fortune cookie.
I'm excited.
Because what I think he does is he gets a whole case of fortune cookies from Amazon and he cracks them open and then he adds to it. You can't just go with the exact fortune cookie. He adds to it or he adds a couple together because they sound very much like wisdom from a fortune cookie, his isms.
He's a smart guy. At the end of the day, Jalen is a man of many, sometimes few words, but he knows what he's doing. I'm excited for that segment later on in the afternoon here today.
All right, we got Chaz from Delco coming up, 610-632-0975. Phillies at the trade deadline. Hembo's going to join us at 11 o'clock. But what should the Phillies do? A lot of people are saying to sell. Not likely, unlikely, not going to happen, but it doesn't mean you can't feel like that. We'll talk to you coming up. Middays with Marks 97.5 The Fanatic. Let's talk about my hair for a second. Morgenstern Hair Restoration. Listen, if you want to replace your hair, I did it with Morgenstern Hair Restoration. The same team, 30-plus years of experience in hair. I still am over there a couple times a year. They're helping me keep my hair. But if you want to get your hair back, so you've lost a lot. The results are amazing, Morgenstern Hair Restoration. But today's hair restoration is also about prevention. So you're looking at your hair and you're saying, like Sean Robin right now. Look at Sean Robin's hair. His hair's fine. In 5 years, he may not feel that way.
Yeah, I might be calling you and Morgan Medical.
Right. So before you lose any more, get with them right now. Non-invasive options, topical treatments, medications to help you keep the hair that you have, because where you go matters. All right. You can go on Facebook and be like, oh, look at that, a shampoo. It's going to keep my hair. No, it's not. Go to Morgenstern Hair Restoration. Where you go makes all the difference, and they are the experts. And there's 3 locations in Pennsylvania: Ballard, Kinwood, Wayne, Pennsylvania. Our friends out in Lancaster are listening right now. 610-831-HAIR. Morgenstern Hair Restoration. The website is morgensternhair.com. That's Morgan with an E. Morgensternhair.com or 610-831-HAIR.
Unfiltered with Ricky Bo and
Back middays with Marks, Petrilli, BP, the Worm, Sean Rodman with me today. Hembo's coming up at 11 o'clock. Paul Hembakitis, who is an ace for ESPN with his baseball stuff, also is a part of the Baseball Tonight podcast, which I don't listen to the whole thing, but I see the clips all the time, and it's always good information. And he's really good. Like he's definitely a rising star. So I had not talked to him before. Hembo's going to join us at 11 o'clock. He also, I believe preseason he had said that it could be the best bullpen in baseball, which I was saying the same things just based on what a lot of the experts were saying. When you looked at it, it's like, wow, Keller could be the guy that takes that step. Last year in his first, you can bring that down there, BP. He first year as a reliever, Keller was really good for the Cubs. Problem was it was only his first year as a reliever. And can you really count on that? I remember Pat Gillick, his philosophy with the relievers was he didn't like to give long-term contracts or 3-year contracts. He liked to do 1-year contracts because 1 year the guy's lights out. The next year you're designating him for assignment in August because he stinks so bad. And Keller was not good. And look, what do you know? He's going to have likely have elbow surgery. So year to year with these relievers, you're really rolling the dice. Robertson was a disaster his first time around, and you didn't really get anything from him. So luckily, you have your closer. Unfortunately, Bolin and Kirkering have been good. They're not good enough for a playoff series. If your starter gives you 6 innings in a playoff game, which is not a given in baseball playoffs, even with your great starters, then you're going to have to go. Let's just say they give you 6, which is not going to happen every game. You need 7, 8, and 9. And who's your lefty? Tanner Banks, who was good last year, is he in the majors right now, or is he back down in the minors? He sucks. Backus has been terrible. It's been a bad acquisition. And Alvarado's been bad. His ERA is 6. So what do you have in the bullpen? It's trouble. When you look at playoff baseball, all the ingredients for the Phillies this year are trouble, based on their bullpen and really their lack of run production. On base percentage, they're still a hit a home run or nothing team. So I don't know at the trade deadline if you can improve the balance of your lineup. It'd be great if you could. And that's really what they need to do long term. So we'll talk to Hembo coming up at 11 o'clock about all those things. Let's hit up some phone calls here. We got Chaz calling from Delaware County. Chaz in Delco, what's up, buddy?
Hey, bud, what's up, man?
What's up, Chaz?
Hey, you teased me. I hope I can live up to that.
Oh, you become one of the whack packers on the midday show out of nowhere.
Well, I appreciate that. All right, well, I got 3 things.
Yeah.
Dombrowski, I don't think is the solution to the problem. I think the players are getting the yips with runners in scoring position. They changed their approach. They're pressing. The lack of run support is pressing the bullpen. So you got a steamroller effect that's going on here right now. I don't think it's talent, guys, unless you're saying everyone all of a sudden is older, they forgot to play baseball. I mean...
Yeah, but hasn't this been the story for a couple of years now?
Yeah, but isn't that onus on the players and the way they approach the game and how... and the panic, the amount of panic that's involved?
I just think at this point, if you're expecting something different from these players, you're expecting something that hasn't happened in a while. I mean, I was expecting something different this year from the lineup? No, I wasn't. Now, to your point, they got rid of the manager, but the hitting coach, he gets contract extensions, and they talk about him like he's the best thing out there because that's his reputation, and the players like him.
Too, didn't I?
You did?
No, the other day.
You did. You're right.
I did. All right. So, well, they got some issues, and I don't think that there's a single thing that can be solved. It's got to be an overall of some sort, and I don't even know where you go from here, guys. You can't give up your fan base, so it's a dilemma.
Well, no, I mean, I appreciate it, Chaz. They want to win. They're spending big money to win. If anybody, if you think you're pissed and fans are pissed out there, how do you think the owner feels about this? He's the one that has the investment of $300 million for a payroll and not getting returns on it. That I think ultimately, what's weird is Trey Turner's such a weird player because he led the National League in hitting last year, and I didn't feel like it was even a great season. Now he's going to have to move off shortstop. He's been so god-awful playing shortstop. So now you're paying big money for a guy playing a premium position that's not going to play a premium position. You don't play a second baseman that much money for that many years. You pay a shortstop that much money. And if he's not going to play shortstop anymore, then that means his value isn't what the value that you signed. Plus, he's not the same player. I don't know if you're ever going to get the same player. You may have. He's having a good year this year. Last year was a good year. I know nobody feels like that or even cares to remember it like that, but last year he had a good year. Was it a great year? I mean, did lead the league in hitting. I don't know. It's uninspiring. I'll be the first to admit that. But, I mean, the problems that lie with the Phillies aren't something that you can solve through the trade deadline. And with the uncertainty of next season, I don't know if that does anything, makes them operate any differently. I don't know if it makes other teams operate any differently. I don't know. But I do know this, that the team right now doesn't look like a World Series contender. Doesn't look like a true World Series contender. And that's it. And things can change very quickly. With one trade, we could be saying that today, and they get the right player, and we could be saying something a lot different in just a couple days or a week. But, man, they're limping. And Petrilli, was it 2 years ago they lost to the Mets? I remember that correct?
Yep, 2 years.
They played great the first half of the season, and they ran out of gas after the All-Star break. Remember they went to London?
London, yep. That was against the Mets.
Against the Mets, and it was bad after that. And you could tell they had played their best baseball in the first half of the season. Did the Phillies just play their best baseball after Thompson got fired until right now?
They played their worst, then their best, and now they're worst again. Like, what a roller coaster of a season. But I think you're right. I think that stretch of coming after Thompson and really having that shakeup in the locker room was that motivation they needed. Hit the All-Star break. Everybody was a part of the All-Star game. Everybody's hosting, shaking hands, red carpets, home run derbies, and they've come out sluggish ever since.
They felt big again.
Yeah.
They did. They felt big again. Can they get back to it? A big move could do that, Worm.
A big move could do that. I just don't think that they have the pieces in the farm system to be able to get a guy that's going to impact them enough to.
They do.
I
don't think there's a player on the market that has it.
Well, that too. I just for both ends, like they have pieces that can get them players, but I don't think they have a piece to go get what BP says, Yordan Alvarez. Nor do I think that he is on the market at all. I just don't see it going to be that overwhelming. That yes, they're going to add a reliever, they're going to add a starter, they're going to add another bat, whether that's the outfield or somewhere else. I don't know. It's
the outfield.
I believe it's the outfield because there's no impact.
Dalton Varsho. Telling you, they've already cozied up to the Blue Jays. They have a number of moves that are going to happen. And if there was a move to make, and I mean, the devil's in the details. Who's the player that we're talking about? But if there was a move to make, like Alvarez, he was talking about Alvarez. You probably don't have the prospects to do that because they would also want a major league ready player right now that looks like he can play right now. They'll have that.
Alec Bohm reminds me of Paul George. You know?
Alec Bohm, yeah, there you go. Is Brad Stevens? Can we is he running any baseball teams right now? I don't know. Hembo's going to join us coming up next. His thoughts on all this, and it's a really weird dynamic now between Bryce Harper and the organization. And Matt Gelb reported this yesterday, I guess. He's still not good with Dave Dombrowski. They have not made up, which I don't know if that's more on Bryce than Dave. If you're a good executive, you should be going and putting your arm around Bryce and saying, I'm sorry. I probably shouldn't have said that. Here's what I meant. I know they had a phone conversation. Is he saying that? I don't know. But here's what I do know. When the manager and the player seem to be on different pages and the organization or the GM and the player seem to be on separate pages, that is not a good thing, and that's not a recipe for winning. We'll talk to Hembo about everything coming up. Don't go anywhere. Middays with Marks, 97.5 The Fanatic.
Now on 97.5 The Fanatic Sports Update.
The trade deadline is inching closer. I'm Sean Rodman, and this update's brought to you by Wawa. Gotta have Wawa. Sweet cravings, midday rewards, late night treats. Wawa is your all-day treat destination for ice cream, parfaits, floats, and ice cream smoothies. Gotta have Wawa. And the Phillies are inching closer to the deadline, and they've been linked to a number of players. On Unfiltered yesterday, the Athletics' Jason Stark believes the Phillies will add a few pieces before the deadline.
The priority list would go, number one, starting pitcher who can start a playoff game. Number two, reliever who can get you to Duran. Number three, some kind of bat who's an upgrade, not necessarily a right-handed hitter.
We'll keep you updated with all things Phillies ahead of the deadline. The Phils are back in action today in Baltimore after the day off yesterday. First pitch is at 7:05. Brandon Young is on the mound for the Orioles, and according to Matt Gelb of The Athletic, Andrew Painter has been recalled and will start tonight for the Phils. The Eagles have a walkthrough practice today after the first 2 days of training camp. Yesterday, Vic Fangio alluded to the media that Jahad Campbell will no longer cross-train at edge rusher as well. This update's also brought to you by Morgenstern Medical. Morgenstern Medical, losing your hair and wish you could do something about it? Call the trusted team at Morgenstern Medical, because where you go matters. Call 610-830-HAIR. I'm Sean Rodman on the home of the Sixers, Flyers, and Union, 97.5 The Fanatic and the Fanatic app.
All right, we're back middays with Marks, Petrilli, the Worm, Sean Rodman, and the first time I've spoken with this gentleman, I did not know he's the pride of Westchester. He might be the best Westchester collegiate baseball player to ever come out of Westchester. I can't think of anybody else. We call him Hembo, and he joins us live on Zoom. Paul Hembekides joins us right now, and he's also went to grad school at LaSalle. Like, this dude's like local. What's up, Hembo?
Yo, first time, long time. Been a fan forever, man. It's good to talk to you finally.
Been a fan of me?
Of course I am. You're a legend in the area, man. You kidding me?
I didn't. I got old quick. I didn't know that. Well, I appreciate that.
Don't we all? No, I've long been a fan of your body of work, my friend.
Thank you. I'm a fan of yours, and you're not just. I said this at the beginning of the show. You're not just some nerd that talks about baseball. You actually played collegiately. In fact, for people that don't know, he leads all-time walks leader of Cedarville University. How about that? Very patient at the plate.
It'll be on my tombstone. And given the fact that I hit from the right side of the plate, could work a walk, I think I could probably hit in the bottom third of this Phillies order right now. What do you think?
Well, on-base percentage is not high enough for the Phillies, Hembo. To your point, you could help. God, there's so many things to talk about here. Actually, let me start from this, and then we'll get into some of the more details of stuff. Just what are your overall thoughts on Bryce Harper says we need help. The relationship with Dombrowski isn't good. Mattingly comes out and more or less says, like, yeah, well, Bryce is going to talk, but it didn't seem like he appreciated Bryce coming out and talking. Just the overall scope of where the Phillies are right now. What do you think?
Yeah. So, look, I'm taking in this situation from afar. I don't live locally anymore. I live in North Jersey, but as you can imagine, I follow the team every single day, and I very much still root for them and make that obvious despite all these idiots that I work with in New York who hate me for it. All that being said, I'm very much on Team Bryce here, as you might imagine, because it's very difficult not to be. Once Dombo opened the door in the offseason by calling him out publicly, he changed the house rules. No longer are we doing this stuff behind closed doors in meeting rooms where we can talk like men and professionals. Now we're going to use microphones to get our message across. And so Bryce, playing by those same rules, is now saying the exact things that he wants, because those are the thoughts that he has being in the clubhouse every single day. And while it's been made very clear that he and Dombo don't see eye to eye and don't like each other, I don't view that as terribly problematic. But what I do view as much more problematic is the fact that now Don Mattingly, who's been in this position for approximately half an hour, who's in this position because his kid runs the team, now feels it necessary to run his mouth and not support his player. And from afar, I have to admit, I think that's really gross. Maybe even bordering on worse, like something that rhymes with pernicious, truly. I mean, Don Mattingly, if he's lucky someday, will be invited to the statue unveiling outside of Citizens Bank Park for Bryce Harper. Don Mattingly someday is going to be the answer to the trivia question, who succeeded Rob Thompson that one random year, where Bryce Harper has put this franchise on his back for the last 5 years, is in the clubhouse every day, and knows exactly what a winning team looks like, and knows that this is not it. He has had an elite season aside from the last month or so, of which Dave Dombrowski has not. And so I'm really not here for the back and forth between the interim manager, who's only in that position because his kid's the GM, and the face of the franchise, who has taken us from being a laughingstock to where we are today.
Yeah, it's interesting because I'd even said this, that as far as personality, Don and Rob Thompson, they're not much different as far as they're not flipping over tables, and they're very much, they know it's a long season. They know they play 162, but I could tell you what, Rob Thompson would never have not had his players back in that case. He would have found a way to creatively not throw Bryce under the bus and acknowledge that, yeah, of course we need help. And Don, you know what, Don was speaking like he was the big guy of the Yankees of the 80s and the early 90s before they won anything. And he's seen it all in baseball. And you know what? Like, Bryce Harper says this, like, maybe Bryce should shut his mouth. And guess what? It's 2026, man. And if you want to not have your star players back, then you just did. That's not a good thing. Not a good thing.
It was outrageous. Look, everyone understands the context here. He has done, I would say, a perfectly fine job at managing this club, aside from a bunch of bullpen issues that they've had, of course. And he's a non-trivial reason why the Phillies have played well. I think you have to give him at least some credit for how they've played since Rob Thompson. Period. New paragraph. You have this job responsibility now to support the people in that clubhouse and not reflect the opinions of your kid. That's what makes this, to me, so gross. Like, he is the only person, in my judgment, whose opinion matters not at all here, because he couldn't be more biased. For him to say play GM when his kid's the GM shows a total lack of respect for the organization and a total ignorance to his role within it. That's, to me, like the ultimate disconnect here. And so even if those are the opinions of the front office, even if that is what Don Mattingly himself thinks, he is the one person on earth, in my judgment, that is not allowed to say it. Ultimately, this is also someone who's only the manager because Alex Cora didn't want the job, and Alex Cora is probably going to be in this role next year. So please just keep the seat warm and don't burn it up.
I'm going to let you cook. You're cooking right now, Hembo. All right, so what should they do at the trade deadline? Do you believe the moves that are available out there to make are good enough to make this team into a true World Series contender?
Very likely not. There is not a player or a series of players that the Phillies could obtain in the next few days that would fundamentally change the way that I would view the Phillies in a best of 5 or 7 against Milwaukee or the Dodgers. That trade or series of trades does not exist. I'd be if there's someone out there or a series of players out there for which you feel strongly otherwise, I'm more than happy to have that conversation. That strikes me as exceedingly unlikely. I mean, the Phillies against the top 10 teams in the sport this year are 11-23 with a minus 51 run differential. The Royals and the Rockies are the only teams in baseball that have been worse against the top third of the league. That's it. This is an ordinary baseball team. There is no team in baseball that has gotten less value. So this is hitting, this is fielding, and this is base running from their lineup than the Phillies have this season. The Phillies have an outstanding pitching staff. But literally, as far as everyone else on the team goes, they rank 30th in the entire sport. It's very hard to imagine a scenario in which you can improve yourself so much so, given those realities, that you're going to beat the Dodgers or the Brewers in a best of 5 or a best of 7 series. And so what the Phillies should very likely do is turn their attention to the answer to the question, how can we ensure that we put ourselves in the best possible position to win that best of 3, whether it be against Atlanta or against Chicago or against somebody else. And so they should be attacking this trade deadline with that in mind and not be willing to just give away your best prospects for the second straight year, considering the fact that doing so would very likely not really improve your lot in life anyway.
Yeah, I agree. They're not one bat away from winning a World Series. They're one bat away from making the second round, the divisional round of the playoffs again, right? Isn't this the same team that we saw really exit the last 2 years the way they're going to exit? Really since the middle of the Diamondback series, where it's like, oh, just don't throw them strikes and they'll chase. And then since then, it seems like that, like at the end of last year, and then they go into the season without making any real changes. The same thing's going to happen this year that's happened in previous years.
That's right. This is a deeply unserious lineup. Obviously, we have ourselves a couple Hall of Famers in the middle of it. Obviously, Brandon Marsh had a nice first half. Yep. Obviously, Trey Turner has been better over the last month, as has JT Realmuto. I mean, I wrote down a few names of people that we can talk about as to players that can improve our lot in life. I would obviously love to see the Phillies trade for Zach Neto and get Trey Turner off a shortstop, which is something that I've been saying loudly for 2 years. It's going to cost you a ton. I'd love to see the Phillies consider trading for Ivan Herrera, a catcher DH left field type from St. Louis who can absolutely bang against lefties and give you obviously lineup depth, although he's going to weaken your defense. But look, it's not like the Phillies have prioritized that. They won a World Series with Pat Burrell as their left fielder, for God's sake. I'd be interested in Matt Chapman, the third baseman from San Francisco. It's an underwater contract, but he's a good player who can provide you an average bat and a double-plus glove. Although if you're going to trade for him, you most definitely have to be willing to unload the Aaron Nola contract if you do so. And so those are 3 bats that I've written down as guys who would certainly improve the Phillies' chances this year, but they're not going to profoundly alter their outlook. What I don't want to happen here is Dombo to pay 150 cents on the dollar for non-difference makers and him to leave this organization in rubble the way that he did Detroit and Boston. He built winners there. But then they had to recover there for like 5 to 7 years because after convincing ownership to spend money and improve resources, the off-ramp that he built winds up crumbling. And I just don't want the Phillies to be in position where you and I are having conversations 5 years from now knowing that they gave away everything for this chance to really do something that, to me, they're not even all that close to doing anyway.
Oh, yeah, 5 years from now is going to be a disaster when you look at this team. I mean, seriously. Nola's still under contract, or he's coming off being under contract. Trey Turner is going to be – he's already can't play shortstop defensively. Now you're paying big money for a second baseman. Who knows if Bryce is even here. And by the way, I heard you take the shot at Pat Burrell. I don't think he deserves collateral damage here for what the Phillies are going through. He could at least throw it to. He had a pretty good arm from. He could have thrown. He could have thrown.
That's right.
If you saw Duran, who was mad that they didn't send Contreras last night from third base, Pat Burrell could have easily made that throw as well. He wasn't bad.
I mean, the ball that Pat Burrell hit off the corner left center field in the World Series, that's an inside the park homer for most of us, and he only made it to second base, for God's sake. So no one's going to pretend that Pat Burrell out there was Ricky Henderson. But I will say this. The Phillies have the benefit of playing in a ballpark with the smallest outfield in the entire sport. They can take advantage of that. We don't need 3 gazelles out there. So if there's a bat out there and you have to hide the bats by playing them in the corners, I can live with it. I'm even fine to play Kyle Schwarber out left field every once in a while if I have to. It's a luxury that we have. Right now what this team needs more than any other, of course, is a right-handed bopper. And if that means the outfield defense gets even worse, then so be it.
Joe Adell, like who we give us you give us some names before you that you mentioned. As far as I feel like it's going to be this year's Bader that they're going to or 2 years ago Austin Hayes. Who's the name that we can expect? I've heard Dalton Varsho thrown out there as far as coming over maybe with Jeff Hoffman and a starter, but who's a Bader type that you could be looking at that might make some impact with the Phillies?
Joe Adell's a player that could have some impact. He's going to play right field badly. He's going to hit lefties well. He's going to hit righties poorly. And so he's someone that certainly checks a box, although I think he's a fairly uninspiring player because the on-base percentage often starts with a 2, which, of course, is wretched. I'm interested in Dalton Varsho because Dalton Varsho can actually go get it in center field, which is something that Justin Crawford cannot do, and you're going to buy low on a player who I've always liked a little bit more than most. He's having a rough season, and he can fake it against lefties, even though he is himself a left-handed hitter. I'm interested in the Toronto package because if you're willing to take on the $12.6 million that Jeff Hoffman is owed next year, you're not going to have to give up anything by way of prospect capital. I'd be interested in George Springer because George Springer, at least we know, can run into one once in a while. He hasn't been healthy this year, but it was a year ago where he was banging balls in the playoffs, and even though he can hardly play the outfield anymore, again, I've communicated, I don't think that's of the utmost importance. So the Blue Jays are a team that I would be interested in. The Reds are also a team that I'd be interested in. They don't have many bats that I would like, but Brady Singer's a back-end starter that I think is the kind of guy that can at least get you some outs, which I think is an incredibly important thing for this team, considering the fact that, look, you've communicated how poorly they play when their big 3 don't start on the mound. What's fascinating to me is you see the team OPS dip by more than 100 points offensively when one of those 3 guys doesn't start, which is to say the lineup knows that they can't win that night, which is a remarkable thing. Like, it's one thing to look at the run prevention when one of your big 3 starters aren't throwing and say, we're not surprised that that's dipped. But the fact that the lineup is so much worse indicates to me that a lot of it is mental. And if you just get someone out there that isn't a pitching machine, maybe you wind up improving in that way. So there's really nothing that you can do to improve this club that I wouldn't approve of, aside from trading a handful of people that it wouldn't make any sense to based on the constitution of the market. Those guys being, of course, Aiden Miller, Andrew Painter, probably Gage Wood, and Francisco Renteria.
All right, that's Hembo, Paul Hembakidis, the native of Westchester, the grad school of LaSalle. Were you there? Because I think you worked there too. Were you there for the Southwest Philly floater? Was that your time with LaSalle or no? Did you miss
yes,
that?
I was there for those 2 years, the Sweet 16 year and the subsequent year. I mean, of all the times to be at LaSalle, I mean, Tom Gola precedes me, of course, but to be there that year in 2013 was an awfully good time. Shout out to Cousin Bern. Shout out to my mom.
Nice. Very good. I saw you tweeted semi-recently about Zach Wheeler and the case he's making to be a Hall of Famer. I don't think when he signed this most recent contract, he said, I'm done after this. I don't think he's done after this. I think he's going to keep pitching because he's developed into such a good starting pitcher later in his career. How close is Zach Wheeler to being a Hall of Fame type pitcher?
Well, you're asking a smart guy a question that most dumb guys are going to tell you not close at all. But the reason I think Zach Wheeler is already a Hall of Famer, which is to say, like, he could retire tomorrow and be a Hall of Famer for me is twofold. The first of which is, if you look at his numbers at face value, compared to other Hall of Famers, you'll say he's not close. But you and I both know, because you know ball, that starting pitchers aren't asked to do now what they used to be asked to do. There are ways in which we can measure a pitcher's performance now and context neutralize it across time. And when doing so, Zach Wheeler compares favorably to all but like 3 dozen pitchers in the history of baseball. And I'm not being hyperbolic. Zach Wheeler has dominated the 2020s in such a way that you'd look at any pitcher across history that's dominated a 7-season period and say, oh, yeah, you're a lock Hall of Famer. So all you can do is compare players to their peers, to their contemporaries, and perform to the job that they were asked to perform. But that's only the first thing and not even the most important one. People realize that Zach Wheeler is among the greatest postseason pitchers of all time? Not hyperbole. It's a statement of fact. If you look at what he's allowed OPS-wise, what he's allowed whip-wise, his run prevention, the way he's gotten deep into games, the way in which he was ridiculously pulled against the Astros, by the way, parenthetically, something I've never forgiven Rob Thompson for. Zach Wheeler is among the best one of the best postseason pitchers of all time and has dominated the 2020s. To me, saying Zach Wheeler is a Hall of Famer is not a controversial opinion. If you think Zach Wheeler is not a Hall of Famer, the only response I have is, oh, you don't know ball. Oh, you've not evolved or adapted your opinions historically. How could you watch that guy pitch across the last 6 years and think anything but? To me, you're living under a rock.
Yeah, it's one of the best signings in the city's history as far as free agency.
No doubt.
And Mets, if I was the Mets, I probably wouldn't have re-signed him based on his injuries and things like that. He comes here, and man, he has been something special. All right, last thing. I know you're also a best-selling author. Of course, you can't just be an expert on ESPN. You're a best-selling author. Your book is 100 greatest sports arguments of all time. So what is your favorite sports argument to have? And is LeBron James, the newest Sixer, LeBron James and Michael Jordan, is that an argument you like having?
Look, you have the ESPN guy on and you wait 18 minutes to drop the GOAT question. Look at you. That's tremendous. Okay, so in all seriousness, I've written 3 books with Mike Greenberg. You referenced the second of the 3. In terms of what sports arguments are my favorite, you just asked me one. Like, is so-and-so a Hall of Famer? Those are my favorite arguments because what it does, it really demonstrates when you're having these arguments with your buddies, like the depth of knowledge and the context of their understanding of sports history, right? And so, for example, there are a lot of people right now that have seen Matthew Stafford play the last couple of years and have decided he's a first ballot Hall of Famer. But if actually know and love the history of football and the 100 plus years that we have of quarterback performance in history, that's a ridiculous thing to say. And so you can have that argument 100 times with 100 different people about 100 different players and 100 different sports, and it's always going to be entertaining. And the fun thing is, everyone's view of the Hall of Fame is different. So my view of the Hall of Fame is different than yours and is different than yours when it comes to every single sport, what bar there is to clear, and everything is also a function of your age. So if you ask, let's say 5 different people that are 10 years apart each, the question is so-and-so a Hall of Famer, you're going to get 5 different perspectives based on the fact that they were all coming of age as fans at a different time. I was 18 years old when the Phillies won the World Series in 2008, and my fandom is viewed through the prism of those years that preceded it. And the same goes for every person when you ask any question like that. And so my favorite debates are typically, is so-and-so a Hall of Famer? And then you just let them cook, and then you rebuke them in return.
Schwarber a Hall of Famer?
Yeah, he will be. I don't know that right now he's a drop-dead Hall of Famer, but he's going to wind up getting to 500, if not 600 home runs. A really high bar to clear, of course, but he can certainly do it. He's got the old man skills to me. If David Ortiz could get in, Kyle Schwarber can get in.
Hembo, really appreciate it, man. Great stuff. Good to talk to you, and look forward to next time. And by the way, it's Paul Hembo on all socials to follow you across all platforms, correct?
Paul Hembo on all socials, but I've been following you and your work for years. It's a pleasure to talk to you for the first time, and hopefully we get to do it again soon.
Awesome. Thanks, Hembo. Appreciate it.
Peace.
There he is. Man, his mind works a lot faster than mine does there, Petrilli.
Yeah, man. I mean, that's the difference right there with working with Greeny for so many years, Just that bang, 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 bang.
And me? No, but he obviously, the intelligence is there. And, it's easy for me to ask the question, and then because I'm a feel guy, he has stats to back up his arguments, and I thought what he said about Bryce Harper and Dombrowski was spot on. Was that so Bryce used the media to deliver a message, just like whether you think Dave was delivering a message or not in the media, he obviously felt a certain way about Bryce, and a lot of people thought it was because of Bryce wanting a new contract and being angry at Scott Boras for being a pain in the ass about it. So. I have no issue with Bryce Harper saying what he said. He didn't throw his teammates under the bus. He said what was fairly obvious, which was, they need help.
Yeah, for sure. And then he followed it up with Don Mattingly kind of pushing back on him there. People were saying that he was protecting Dombrowski, but I think agree with Hembo. I think it was more protecting his son. And a lot of people haven't really seen that as much where, Preston Mattingly has been a huge part of this Phillies organization. And Don kind of pushing back on Bryce kind of feels like he's protecting his little boy.
Yeah, and also Don, one thing like you give Topper credit for, he had a good feel for the team. I can't tell you how many times I didn't like a move that he made. And it was less frequently this year, obviously. But in previous years, I'd be like, what are they doing? Why would you do that? And it ended up working out. He had a really good, especially those first 2 years, he had an excellent feel for the team. He had a great feel for starters, same thing with the bullpen. I wonder if Mattingly's awake during some of these games with what he's doing. And, like, sometimes when the player doesn't perform, that's on the player, and the manager's going to end up taking, the manager ends up taking crap. What do you want him to do? With Mattingly, it just feels like he's got a poor feel.
Yeah,
team.
Especially with Nola. But I'm interested to see, you got the guy up today, Andrew Painter. He hasn't had a feel for Painter all year long. You tried to go with the starter, an opener for him. Now you're bringing him back. You're sending him down. You're bringing him back up. It'll be interesting to see if he goes 4-5, or if he tries to hook him to give him that confidence in a start. If he's doing well early,
you get him out before he gets hit.
Yeah.
All right, we'll take your phone call 610-632-0975. Davis Honda text line with the voice memos or the text messages. Just make sure you leave your name and location, 610-632-0975. I want to talk about Uncle Vic coming up. All right, Vic Fangio at the press conference yesterday. I laughed, but people were really mad. We'll play it for you coming up next. Middays with Marks, 97.5 The Fanatic.
Now on 97.5 The Fanatic Sports Update.
Who will the Phillies add at the trade deadline? I'm Sean Rodman, and the Phillies have been linked to a number of players. Yesterday on Unfiltered, the Athletics' Jason Stark mentioned a few names on the Blue Jays the Phillies are interested in.
Dalton Varsho is an interesting name. I think he's farther down the Phillies list. Kevin Glanzman, Jeff Hoffman, there is definite interest and a definite possible match. I would definitely watch that team.
We'll keep you updated on all things Phillies related, and the Phils are back in action today in Baltimore after the day off yesterday. First pitch is at 7:05. Brandon Young is on the mound for the Orioles, and according to the Athletics' Matt Gelb, Andrew Painter will be recalled and will start tonight for the Phillies. The Eagles have a walkthrough today after the first 2 days of practice, and the Athletic is reporting that LeBron James and ESPN are finalizing a documentary team following him around with the 76ers this upcoming season. This update's brought to you by Verizon. Verizon business experts love small businesses, so they come directly to you on your schedule. With real expertise tailored to your needs, make an appointment with a Verizon business expert. Go to Verizon.com/book today. I'm Sean Rodman on the home of the Sixers, Flyers, and Union, 97.5 The Fanatic and The Fanatic.
Marks, Brendan Petrilli, Sean Rodman on a Yacht Rock Friday with the shout out our guy Eric Fink, big podcast guy, but also the manager of Fink's Hoagies up in Northeast Philly. Dropped off a little spread for us today in celebration of John Kincaid's last day on the station. And the entire staff was out there just stuffing our face because he was very generous in what he brought. What were you eating there, Petrilli?
I had the Italian, getting into the Italian, and then we were looking at the one with the Tuscany. Taccone. Yeah, that looked absolutely delicious. I'll have to get into that on the next break.
Yeah, I would recommend it. Very good. Shout out to Fink. We appreciate you, buddy, for stopping by. All right, well, let's do this. We have a voice memo, and we have a phone call. So David from Drexel Hill wants to talk about Bryce Harper and the Phils. What's up, David? How are you, buddy? Let me try it again, David. Hello. It's not punching up on my thing. Can you manually do it there, Petrilli, or no? There. Let's try it now. David, hello.
Doing.
We got you, David. What's up, buddy?
All right. Hey, listen, one of the things that I don't like about Harper is not even as much what he says, but let me ask you this. I know as a younger player on the team, they don't want to hear that. They don't want to seem like you're against us versus yet with us. Like we're a team together. And I think that's what's going to hurt them. And here's the other thing I want to ask you guys, right? That can you imagine what would happen if Jalen Hurts said the same thing about his team?
I mean, I think you
it's
can.
It's a double standard.
There is. I think you can say it with anything with Jalen Hurts. If any player said anything, and you put that to a quarterback, especially Jalen Hurts.
Yeah, you got me on my point. Yeah, you beat my point.
You're right. No, you're right. And that Jalen's like a separate. Jalen's totally separate with anything.
Hey, and can I ask y'all guys one question? This is about Hurts before I hang up and all, because my wife hit me like you're driving.
Yeah.
Listen, I told him last year, and it's almost coming out, that Jalen Hurts will be in the position he's in with his contract and everything. Mm-hmm. And I said that with Clutch, the sports company, Michael Jordan, Tom Brady in his ear, Jalen Hurts, if he has a fantastic, I'm talking about a great season, he might tell us bye. Because he just got married, his wife might want to move on, and he might roll with her, and then we're going to be sorry.
Yeah,
give me a comment on that if you think about it.
I will. I'll comment right now. It's generally not how things work. Like, who's the last quarterback that demanded their way out of town of any team in the NFL? Hey, the Eagles have been pretty good to Jalen Hurts. I know that last year Howie Roseman could have been more supportive or maybe offered some more confidence in his quarterback. But, I mean, I think that words and actions tell you what you need to know about Jalen Hurts. A.J. Brown wanted to leave Philadelphia primarily because of Jalen Hurts. Do we agree with that?
Yeah.
Really? You're the co-founder of Club Hurts.
Yeah, VP of Club Hurts. I totally get that. And I think Jalen has been kind of letting it fly a little bit, talking about alignment and no entitlement here. Like, he's kind of loosening up a little bit where he feels a little bit more free to kind of express more of his opinions, trying to be more of a likable guy. But it'll be interesting to see. I mean, other quarterbacks that have tried to run out. I mean, you got Jacoby Brissett just got his contract, right? But, like, that's nowhere close to the level of this situation here with Jalen Hurts. And, you know, I was saying it to you guys the other day when Jalen Carter got his big-time deal. It's time for the other Jalen to get his before he goes off and gets into the MVP conversation again. But I just don't see that happening at this point going into the season.
After this year.
Yeah, after this year.
Yeah, after this year, there's not a lot of guaranteed money left. That would be the natural time to extend him. And if he has a good year, it'll take care of itself. I mean, honestly, the most likely scenario, and I think it's by a lot, is that Jalen Hurts has a good year and he's re-signed and he's the Eagles quarterback many years to come. When he's needed to answer the bell, right? Like when he's been challenged, when he's been questioned, he's usually at his best. And I think that's what you're going to see from him this year. They have a new offense. They have a new offensive coordinator. They're going to challenge him to evolve as a throwing quarterback. He's also going to get, hopefully, the coaching that he needs. Last year you had, an offensive coordinator that got that job in his mid to late 40s. He had never sniffed an offensive coordinator job before. In today's NFL, if you're not an offensive coordinator or a head coach by your mid-30s, your late 30s, your 40s, like you really kind of missed out on the first part of your career. That Patullo was the offensive coordinator last year because he stuck around long enough with Nick Sirianni and because they had success and because Sirianni was able to say, this is the guy I want because Sirianni's a loyal guy. That's how he got the job. There's nobody out there that was trying to pluck Kevin Patullo off the Eagles staff to make them their coordinator or their head coach. So you actually have an up-and-coming offensive mind that is going to change things around, and then he's probably going to be gone. So you can book it. Week whatever, maybe it's even week 1 or week 2. Oh, you got to think about moving on from Sirianni. You can't let Sean Mannion leave. Sean Mannion in this offense, he's going to leave, and then Jalen Hurts isn't going to be good again. It's always going to be a problem when your head coach doesn't call plays, but I don't think Jalen Hurts is going anywhere. Now, Club Hurts, I'll say this to you, President of Club Hurts, if he doesn't perform well this year and he doesn't adapt and he doesn't evolve, yeah, like that's the recipe for him not being here next year in 2027. I don't expect that.
No, and I think that would be drastic of a change. Like, what would be that situation? They go below 500, that they would just straight up move on? Like, I feel
if he has last year's year.
The same year, they still win the division again, three-peat the division.
Did they three-peat the division because of Jalen last year? Could you have done it with a different quarterback?
I don't know.
I do.
I don't think you could have.
Well, not with crap.
Yeah. But, if a guy like...
How about Baker Mayfield? Baker Mayfield thinks he's being disrespected by the Buccaneers, all right? And because they only offered him 2 years and they weren't offering him the $50 million a year. I don't know if he's being disrespected, but the Buccaneers are clearly saying, hey, you lost 7 of 9 games to end the year. And look at your numbers. You weren't great after everybody was pumping you up as an MVP candidate. So Jalen's won. That's the difference. Jalen's been to 2 Super Bowls, and he's won one. He's performed well in those games. Baker Mayfield's never done that. But if you had Baker Mayfield on the Eagles last year, do they lose in the first round of the playoffs? I don't know. Like I don't think that they go any further with Baker Mayfield. They could have made the playoffs with an above-average starter. Man, Jalen Hurts has to start throwing the ball better. I'm sorry. All you Club Hurts apologists, like, do we agree on that? He's got to be a better thrower of the football. You can't live and die with the way they've been playing during the regular season.
No, 100%. And you kind of see that coming out on Eagles Twitter and Instagram right now is those throws over to Smitty over the middle, those deep ball fades, the hitting the Devontae Wicks on that deep ball. He goes up and get it. Like this is a team that's looking to get Jalen out, moving around again. He's looking lean. He's looking mean. He's got to trust his arm again, trust his coordinators, trust his players, have that continuity, have that alignment to really build this offense into something special. Like what would be a huge year for this team? Obviously, he had like 3,300 yards last year. Do you think he can make that jump back up into the 4,000 yards passing this season? Or do you think it's going to be kind of in the middle and they keep on building this offense?
I don't need him throwing the ball 35 times a game. Robin, I don't need to see it.
No. When Jalen Hurts and the Eagles offense has been successful, it's when they don't throw the ball 30 times a game. It's when he gets out of the pocket, when they design some runs for him, when he scrambles a little bit, and also when they hand the football off. Whether it's Saquon Barkley or whoever is back there, when Jalen Hurts is not throwing the ball 30 times a game, that has been their formula for success, and that is what has carried them over the last 4 or 5 years when they've had success.
All right, we'll do. We didn't get to Uncle Vic. We got Uncle Vic. Oh man, he had jokes. But so we're breaking right here, but Charlie, 610-632-0975. Uncle Vic takes the podium yesterday, and I thought he was funny. People were mad. We'll play the sound for you. We'll talk about it. Middays with Marks 97.5, the Fanatic. All right, listen, headed into the weekend. Check it out. Birds training camp's underway, and it's the perfect time to make your future bets on the upcoming pro football season. Only one place to do it, the BetParks Online Casino and Sportsbook. They have you covered for all your future bets on pro football. Who's going to win it all this year? L.A., Baltimore, and Buffalo are the top 3 favorites. So check this out. A $25 bet on Los Angeles pays $162.50. $25 future bet on Baltimore or Buffalo to win it all, $250. How about the Birds? If you were to bet $25 for the Birds to win it all, $425 are your winnings. Live bet on all your Philadelphia baseball as well. All the sports. It's your favorite sports is always better on the BetParks app. You can live bet baseball, pro golf, MMA, tennis, soccer. How about women's pro basketball? So join me on the BetParks app. Fun time all summer long right there. And also the casino right at your fingertips. So if you're on the boat, the lake, the pool, right on your couch, you can do it all. Blackjack, craps, poker, your favorite classic casino games are right there. So check it out, the BetPark online casino and sportsbook app, where there's always another way to win. You must be 21 and in PA, New Jersey, Michigan, or Maryland. Terms and conditions apply on everything. Details at betparks.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Got something to
All right, we're back. Middays and Marks. Well, we'll do two stories here. News at noon coming up. Is it News at noon with Brendan Petrilli?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, we're excited. We're excited. We were getting the beds ready. I was like, I'm not going my bed today. I'm sorry, fellas. All the AC/DC fans out there, we had to change it up.
Yeah. Yeah, for people that don't know, Petrilli does one of the opens. We have a bunch of really good opens now, so we can kind of rotate them.
Keep them rolling, people. They're awesome.
Yep. All right. So the first one, so Vic Fangio had a press conference yesterday. I'll be honest, I'm not glued to what the coordinators are saying during training camp. I want to hear what they have to say, but I wasn't waiting with bated breath on social media or PhiladelphiaEagles.com to hear Vic. So here's how it started out. This is the beginning of the press conference with Vic Fangio.
Like Fauci and just take the Fifth Amendment on questions. Did you guys see that?
Yeah.
Oh, my God. What was the question?
That was like the very beginning. So he's like, you see that? Oh, my God. So if you don't know, Anthony Fauci, the former director of the whole COVID thing, I forget his exact title. He wouldn't answer questions during a Senate hearing a lot of times. And I guess he was responding to that. I'd seen it in the news. You know me, Worm, Sean Rodman. I don't do a lot of politics. I have very little interest in that.
Yeah, no. When I saw it, I thought it was funny. I mean, for Vic Fangio, he's rolling off the cuff. It's first media day. Got to bring the jokes to first media availability of training camp as well. But politics, I know he's just poking fun at it.
All right. Well, so then he's asked, do you have the question in it, Petrilli? The second one here, because he's asked about Brandon Graham. So they said because Grenard's not ready to go, they put him on the PUP list. So there's a need for a defensive end. So they're asking him about Brandon Graham. Here's Fangio.
I don't know. You guys had Howie up here yesterday. You should have asked him that.
I did.
And what did he say? He ducked you? He Fauci'd you?
Is that what you're going to do? Are you going to Fauci me on that?
I'm at the mercy of Howie.
Yeah, so it's a smart way not to answer because ask Howie, don't ask me. But so Keith Olbermann retweets it. So one of the aggregators out there puts it up, and Keith Olbermann, shocking, a Philadelphia sports team is it Cretinous, MAGA slob in a critical position. Like, all right, and I'm going to keep this pretty short because I retweeted the Crossing Broad article that just said, man, I don't even remember what I said. But, like, for the most part, like, can't we just have a little fun without everybody going completely berserk? This world is so uptight. All right, like, just because he says that doesn't mean he necessarily has some extreme views on one side of the political spectrum. And just because I say everybody's so uptight doesn't mean that I feel ideally that I even care about politics. I don't. And I certainly don't have any partisan politics anywhere behind me. So, like, everybody just take a deep breath, for God's sakes. Oh, well, you shouldn't say that. And I know people don't, and I know this firsthand. When I was going up on the other station going up against Mike was doing a lot of politics. And I don't do politics for good reason, because I just have no interest in them. You want me to go over and bang my head against the wall? No, I'm not going to do that. So I for the most part, I just avoid it. I like news. I pay attention to current events. I read news. But as far as just the nonsense of the political spectrum, I want nothing to do with it, right? So to me, that was just the 67-year-old grandfather who was at a press conference and he saw what Anthony Fauci said, and he still felt a certain way about it. And he was going to make sure that he said something, and he laughed about it at the press conference. Yeah, but like to go now calling him a slob, a MAGA slob because of it, it's just so unnecessary. So, everybody just go have a cream soda and relax. All right? You don't want to, if you listen to the press conference and that made you mad, then that made you mad. I'm not really sure. I thought it was a funny line. And I never for 1 second connected a dot of that and that him being some extreme side of the political spectrum. I don't know, man. I know, but Petrilli, you're a big, you're a left-wing radical, right?
Yeah, I was like, let's take it easy where we're going here. But no, I mean, Vic's just having fun. You see it when he talks about the Phillies. Maybe we'll get into it. Best free agent signing ever.
Oh, we're gonna get into it.
So like, there's these opportunities where Vic gets to show his personality over the years, and if you don't get that, I'm sorry, man. Go let us have fun, man. Like that's all I have to say.
It was funny. I laughed. I LOL'd when he did it. All right. Also, breaking news here that Tony Romo is going to be put on the shelf by CBS Sports. Seemed like right away they were like, not a big deal. We're going to be behind him. But I guess, he's on leave until further notice. Now, training camp has already started. And the one-word line from the press release is Tony Romo is on leave from his role at CBS Sports until further notice. And I'm reading from Pro Football Talk here. Romo got the DUI a couple weeks ago. How long ago is it now? But it was also at 6 p.m., and he seemed pretty hammered. And because now the body cam footage has been put out or whatever. And I had always thought that, not that he sounded like he was slurring or anything on the broadcast, but I always wondered if he wasn't doing a little drinking during the broadcast just based on his behavior. But I don't know if he's got a drinking problem. Something would tell me if you're getting a DUI at 6 o'clock in the afternoon and you're hammered, you certainly have some type of a drinking problem. And I heard Boomer Esiason say on his radio show that he made a bad mistake. Yeah, man, and he said that everybody's been in that position. I think he was saying, hey, listen, we've all been behind the wheel of a car where maybe we should have been driving. And, okay, that's fair enough. I've probably driven a car before where maybe I shouldn't have been behind the wheel. But that's neither here nor there. He's not anybody else. He's the guy that makes a lot of money working for CBS. And 6 p.m. driving around and really, putting other people's lives at risk. I don't need them to lose their job or anything like that, but this seems like more than just a Dewey that somebody got because they had an extra beer or two.
They've also started they have a replacement now, at least for the part-time. J.J. Watt will join Jim Nantz and Travie Wolfson as CBS Sports lead NFL team during Romo's absence.
During the preseason.
It sounds like it. Doesn't say how long. It just says,
do you think they're going to whack him? Because they could fire him and I think do it for cause, so they wouldn't have to pay out the rest of the contract. He makes a lot of money.
I would assume they would fire him, especially just because he's in a public position. If this was someone at a random job, maybe not, but someone in a public position that's on national television every Sunday, I think he gets whacked.
I disagree with that. I think it depends on the severity and a lot of other factors, but people are allowed to make mistakes. Like you said, people do lose their jobs for things like that. But if God forbid somebody at the radio station did, I won't mention any names, but I've worked at a station before where someone got a DUI. I don't think they got disciplined. They certainly didn't lose their job. So, but this gives them a way to move on if they want to. That makes sense?
Yeah,
because he's terrible.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing is whether they deem. Well, the thing is with the company here is they're going to be if they ever had those doubts in their mind and they listen to the audience and they're just all right, sorry Tony, yeah, this is just how it's going to shake out here, man. We wish you the best of luck, and we're gonna move on in a different direction because listening to JJ in the past few years now. JJ's a nice guy. He's a likable guy. He knows the game of football, and he's been one of those up-and-comers just like Greg Olsen that I think CBS has been waiting to kind of elevate, and this might be that opportunity for them to really do it.
Can't Olsen sign with anybody? Isn't that a part of his
deal? Yeah, I remember he had something weird after the Brady thing.
Olsen's fine. For the most part, as long as you put somebody on that doesn't make me angry, I'm going to watch the games. Romo makes me angry watching a lot of the games. I still watch them. We can complain about Romo and play his drops. So it's not like he doesn't offer something. But you can tell that Nance doesn't like working with him, and they have poor chemistry. Because Nance is very professional. He wants the analyst to give exactly what the analyst is supposed to give, and Romo's a lot of times asking Jim what he thinks they're going to do. Because he gets so excited when he's doing the broadcast. It's well, Tony, that's kind of what we're asking out of you.
Yeah, that's what made Tony so great that first year is where he was able to tell you what play was coming because that's what he was doing for 15, 20 years of his life.
He was different.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden he kind of, I think, sat back on that and, I know the game enough where he hasn't kept up with the offenses developing and changing throughout the last couple of years where now it's just it's almost a foreign concept to him at this point where it's not just, the regular things that he has been doing with the Cowboys for all those years. The Mannions and the McVays and the Shanahans of the world have been developing these offenses where he doesn't really know as much as he used to, where he was able to call those plays out.
All right, coming up, we have the news at noon with Brendan Petrilli. BP, what do you have the news on noon today?
Yeah, we got a little bit. We got a couple fun things coming up here. We got What's a Football Guy with Greg Schiano, the head coach at Rutgers. We got a little Shannon Sharp and Jeremy Shockey talking vasectomy, and then we're gonna do Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts is a good guy, so that's what we got coming up next.
All right, some Club Hurts as well. That's all straight ahead. Middays with Marks, 97.5 The Fanatic.
Now on 97.5 The Fanatic Sports Update.
The trade deadline is just a few days away. I'm Sean Rodman, and this update's brought to you by Rosenbaum Injury Law. If you're been injured, don't settle for less because winning means everything. Call Rosenbaum and Associates today for a free consultation. The Phillies are just a couple days away from the trade deadline. The priority list, according to the Athletics, Jason Stark goes from starting pitcher, reliever, then to some kind of bat who is an upgrade. The Phils are back in action today in Baltimore after the day off yesterday. First pitch is at 7:05. Brandon Young will be on the mound for the Orioles. And then it looks like, as of now, according to Matt Gelb, Andrew Painter will be recalled and start for the Phillies tonight. The Eagles have a walkthrough today after the first 2 days of practice. One player missing from practice right now is Jonathan Grenard. He's on the PUP list, and Vic Fangio was asked about him yesterday.
Do you expect him to get on the field before the start of the season so you get a little time?
That remains to be seen.
We'll see if he's able to get on the field before the end of training camp, and The Athletic is reporting that LeBron James and ESPN are finalizing a documentary team following around LeBron for his time with the Sixers. And this update's also brought to you by Verizon Business. Verizon Business experts love small businesses, so they come directly to you on your schedule with a real expertise tailored to your needs. Make an appointment with Verizon Business's expert. Go to Verizon.com/book today. I'm Sean Rodman on the home of the Sixers, Flyers, and Union, 97.5 The Fanatic and The Fanatic.
All right, we're back. Middays with Marks. I love this one. This is on my playlist.
It's a banger. Just gets you in the right mindset.
Oh, man. See, this is where I start to be like, all right, let me go sit out on the deck. Let me get to the beach.
Yeah, where's Sean Braceman Ray at? Let's go join him, you know?
Yeah, they're at the shore. I'm assuming Sean made it. Oh, man. Love it. Yacht Rock Friday. That's Redder Chili. He's running the board producing. Sean the Worm Rodman is on updates. Couple quick things here. We'll get to the news at noon. So yesterday I had the intention of coming into the station. So my wife went out of town, so I was dropping her off at the airport, and her flight was, I got her to the airport at 9. So I had to drop my car off, pick up another car, and then I was going to come to the station. I was with my little girl, my Bella. She's 5. And so, I want my kids to remember me being here. I want them to be a part of the station. Growing up, I want them to see me and know the station and know the people or whatever. And she hasn't been to the station. So I'm like, all right, we're going to go check out the station. So we're driving. We're going south on the Blue Route. I have my sister-in-law and my wife and Bella. And she was acting a little bit weird. So it's like, all right, and then she fell asleep. So maybe she's just tired. She wakes up. So she's in a car seat, throwing up all over herself in a car seat. You can't go to a toilet and throw up in a toilet when you're in a driving car. So I'm in a Sienna minivan. No, I was in my car actually. I was going to pick up that, and she's got to throw up all over herself. Meanwhile, we're kind of running late to the airport, and we're on a highway, and what do you do? We don't have backup clothes. And she's got to throw up all over ourselves, in the seat, in the straps that strap it. So luckily, I was able to take the throw up from where she threw up and with my hands and toss it. So I had to pull over. I got off on an exit in Delco on the Blue Route, and I was able to get the throw up out of the car, and I chucked it. And then I found a blanket that was in the back, and I kind of was able to wipe stuff down. So I had to drive with her, drop them off. She was in her undies. So, because we didn't have pants, she'd thrown up all over her pants. So I obviously couldn't come into the station. That was the intention. We were going to come check out the station. But she was just car sick. She wasn't sick. This isn't the first time she's done it either, BP.
Yeah, it seems like this has been a while since we've had an incident like this. It felt like during the school year it was happening like every other week, but I feel it was probably a couple weeks without a throw-up session.
No, it's been the last time, Rodman, that she threw up in the car, and then because my in-laws were watching her a day a week. So then I got out of the car, and I picked her up, and she's just starts throwing up all over my shoulder, down my shirt, on my neck. But that's I was like, all right, just throw up on me. It's fine. Throw up on me. And so she's throwing up all on me. Luckily, it doesn't bother me. I don't really care. And then I had to drive into work after that.
I can't do throw up. Just you talking about it's just making me nauseous.
No, and I apologize because a lot of people are probably out to lunch or eating lunch right now. It doesn't faze me, but my sister-in-law and my wife are they can't even look at it, and they have the windows down. They're trying not to gag. Meanwhile, I'm taking the throw up and just throwing it out of the car. Well, we survived, but I was disappointed because I didn't get to bring her in yesterday. We had to go home and get changed and stuff. But we made it. We were all right after that. Are you a big throw-up guy?
No, it definitely phases me a little bit. That's why I date a nurse. That she can deal with that when the future kids come along later down the line.
What kind of? So your girlfriend is what type of nurse?
She PCU, right, step down from ICU.
Oh, all right. There you go. Did you work overnight shift?
No.
12-hour shifts?
12-hour shifts, 3 days a week, 1 weekend a month.
Look at that.
Not too bad.
She was nice enough to pick Rodman up from the bar last night, too. Great woman.
Really?
Yep.
Yeah, where were you guys last night?
Canal side.
Yep. So because you're a big Manny guy now. Is that correct?
Yep.
Oh, Rodman and
Roxborough, but
yeah, Rodman and I just moved into town, hanging out. We were putting the show sheet together, had a couple drinks.
Great time. That's great camaraderie.
Oh, yeah. Building the culture around here,
All right, well, let's build the culture after we do the news at noon. News at noon with Ray Dunn. Stories that you don't need. News at noon with Ray Dunn. It's better than listening to Creed.
Alrighty then, guys. Let's get after it today. So there's been a lot of interesting topics going around in a little bit of the dead season here, but it's always interesting to hear Club Shay Shay and Shannon Sharp break it down with some former NFL players, and he had former tight end for the New York Football Giants, Jeremy Shockey, on, and he was kind of talking about his early life going into the NFL, and I want to kind of hear your guys' take on his love life here.
Yeah, like 20 years, 21 years when I got drafted, I had a vasectomy. I had no kids. I didn't want kids.
You don't want the kids? You still don't want kids?
I reversed it. Yeah, I wanted kids. I reversed it, but I'm saying when I played in the NFL, I didn't want to have any,
Do you have
so much
kids
space
now?
here. No, I had no kids.
But you want kids now?
Yeah, I do, but I obviously,
But you didn't want kids at the time.
I got insured more by Lloyd's in London. That's really the truth, when I got the vasectomy as well.
Yeah.
So that was a good decision. But I didn't have that. I didn't need that in emotional support. I had to have a schedule. I don't need that. It's not me. I'll do that later.
Right.
I know.
So when he entered the NFL, he decided to get a vasectomy so he wouldn't have any kids to bother or distract him coming into the NFL, because he had one goal in mind, and that was to become an all-time great tight end. I mean, what an absolutely crazy move, just to be like, hey, we're gonna deal with this now. Now he wants kids.
Yeah, I can go out and I can have sex with as many women unprotected as possible, and I can't get anybody pregnant. I mean, I've never heard anything like it. You have to respect it of all the things I thought I was going to hear in the news at noon. That's a power move. Let me go get a vasectomy, not because I've already had 3 kids. What 21-year-old gets a vasectomy?
Like, what's that mindset? To me, is
somebody went to the University of Miami and doesn't want to get trapped into having baby mamas and things like that.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds like, here, listening to him talk a little bit, it seems like he's enjoyed himself very much so in his life. But yeah, what
oh my God, what a degenerate.
Well, I sent this to you as well, BP. I don't know, you didn't see that he also took Viagra before games as well.
Before games?
Yes, he took Viagra before games as well.
What?
I've heard other players kind of talk about that to kind of get them like amped up and like ready to go out in the field. Get the blood flow going, get the testosterone pumping.
Is that right?
Yeah. Like what these NFL players do, or just professional athletes, like it's just absolutely nuts. It's a different breed.
I've heard bodybuilders and weightlifters. I've heard that they do that because it, like the pump, like you said, the blood flow, it'll make you look bigger. But I mean, that's pretty extreme to be taking Viagra before going on the field.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
And then he was like literally like the Michael Scott meme, snip, snap, like with the vasectomy there.
And then he got it reversed.
He got it reversed now, and he's trying to have kids. I don't know if he does now or not.
Didn't seem like it.
Does not seem like it. And he's probably up there now, 45 plus. So
is he 40? No, he can't be that old.
You don't think so? I'll have to
40 maybe.
That was a field fact right there for me. But
all right, well let me look.
Yeah. All right. So
and by the way, I hate Jeremy Shockey.
Yeah, he's 45. Yeah,
he's 45 years old.
45 years old.
He had a short window where he was really, really good. I don't think he could stay healthy because he always took on a lot of contact.
Mm-hmm.
He needed it. I always hated Jeremy Shockey. He was a good player.
Yeah. All right. So the next one, kind of that same like football guy mode there, where you have the guys doing what it takes to stay on the field and out of trouble outside on the streets. We have Greg Schiano here. He's been deemed the ultimate football guy. He gets his players ready to go. He's the rah-rah coach guy. He's back at Rutgers again for a second time, and he was on Part of My Take. And on Part of My Take, he had a dog named Fumble growing up, and sadly they had to put Fumble down, but he kind of is talking about what happened in his household now.
All right, so here's the sad thing, right? My house has become a cat house now.
Oh!
Yes. Now we have my daughter.
That is some big-time football guy no-no.
Tell me about
Coach.
it, right? My wife has a cat. My daughter has a cat.
Yeah.
So and you want to know the worst part? I'm allergic to cats. How about that? Cats.
See, this is the problem. You have feelings for these cats.
No, that's not the case.
Okay.
That's not the case.
All right. When they bought the cats, were you like, hey, you guys, I can't have a cat in the house. It's going to make me sick.
I'm a football coach.
Yeah, he's a football coach.
Football coaches can have cats, fellas. Come on.
Well, because they're out of the house for 20 hours a day. But like are you a cat guy?
I am a cat guy. That's why I'm bringing this up. I never thought I was going to be a cat guy. Never did. I was always had a dog growing up. R.I.P. Mama Ginge. She just passed away last month. But, yeah, I ended up getting 2 cats. I've had them for about 5 years now, Teddy and Sylvie.
You look like a cat guy.
I look like a cat guy. Hey.
Would you agree, Rodman?
He does look like a cat guy.
They're nice and snuggly. They come to the door to me. They're like little husky cats. You know, they're absolutely gorgeous. So, like, I love my cats. Cats need a better name. They like this whole thing that it's not macho to have a cat is absolutely ridiculous. Yeah, like look at me. You think I look like a cat guy? I'm a rugby player, wrestler, go out and have a good time, and I still love my cats. Okay,
No, but
I'm not afraid to admit it.
You're the big guy. See, I don't think it's about masculinity. I think it's about I like with me. I don't ever think like a guy is a cat. You're a wimp. I just think they're gross.
Gross.
And
they're clean. The cats are clean.
Yeah, they just like I don't like to smell cats. I don't like to smell cat pee.
Litter.
The litter box is do you have cats?
No.
Yeah, never. Because my kids now are a bit like they want to get animals, and I'm not ready to get a dog because I don't have time for it.
Get a cat, John. I'm telling you, the daughters will love it.
0% chance of it happening. My wife's allergic to it. We could even the cat dander. If there's been a cat in a house, her eyes will start watering. So even beside that, I'm out.
Yeah, I get the allergics, but cats get a bad name, and I need to bring this back up. And football guys can have cats. But anyway, fellas, let's get into the last story here and circle it back. You know, I am the vice president of Club Hertz. Shout out to boys Sean Brace. We're going to get a lot of things moving forward as we approach the season here. But the story earlier in the week, Jalen Carter gets the big-time deal. You know, the QB1 is looking out for his guys here.
Yeah, my wife had put a $5 bill in my backpack. A little inside joke between her and I, but I took that $5 bill and I went and gave it to Jalen Carter and I smacked it on his chest and I said, "Let me put 5 on top of that." So we just had a little fun, but he's a great competitor, great player. He's disrupting practice out there today. I mean, just excited for him to be able to focus on what's to come and move forward. Yeah.
I mean, Jalen, he's just a great teammate. You know.
Who would say otherwise?
That's what
everybody
I'm saying.
gets along with him.
Everybody gets along. He's having fun. All the boys in the locker room are loving themselves from Jalen. He's focused. He's ready to go. He's having more fun. He's smiling. He's talking trash. He's having fun with the fellas.
He was doing the line dance
having the line dance at Devontae's wedding. Like this guy, he has a different mode. He's ready to go. I'm excited for it as the vice president of Club Hertz.
Here's what I think it is. Remember the year where it was? Remember he would sit on the year they fell apart, whatever year that was, where they started off really hot. He was the MVP, like co-front runner.
Yeah, 22, right?
22, because then they went to the Super Bowl the next year. It seems like he has these years where he forgets that everybody's looking at him, and it's up to him to kind of develop the relationship with teams. So if you're not wanting to talk to everybody and you're being grumpy, people are going to be talking behind your back, like guaranteed. If someone's walking around here and you have the we'll just say the highest priced talent, and you're being a dick to them, or maybe you're not being friendly, guess what? Everybody's going to be like, "What's his problem? What did I do to him? Like, why is it?" And it feels like that Jalen can be like that sometimes, but he's made the conscious effort the following year. He did it after 22. To make sure that he was going out and he was being friendly and he was having these type of relationships. So every time that Jalen's needed to answer the bell for whatever criticism or whatever was going on, he's done it. It seems like he's doing it this year, Worm.
Yeah, it does. He keeps stepping up but it feels like it's almost every other year. And the letdown is part of the reason why it's a bit of a concern. This year's
not every other year.
It's not every other year. That's why when you're buying into Club Hertz, this would be the year to buy into it.
Are you in Club Hertz?
I would say I'm more in Objective Club.
You're Objective Club Hertz with me.
Rodman.
Okay, good.
I mean, I support Jalen Hurts, and I think that he's
crazy.
a good quarterback. But at the same time, there's times where he doesn't perform, and last year he didn't perform well.
You can bring it down there, Trilly.
Oh, my God. I think I got to kick you out of the group chat now, Robin. This is new news to me.
Which group chat?
All right, maybe you're not in it.
I don't think I'm in it.
All right, good.
You're not in a Club Hertz group. We'll have to start an Objective Club Hertz group chat. Every time I bring up Club Hertz, I get followers on Instagram, at Objective Club Hertz.
Yeah, go give us a follow. No, the Club Hertz on Instagram.
Club Hertz, depending.
Yep.
But either way, you're Eagles fans and you are fans of Jalen Hurts. Because I'm a fan of Jalen Hurts. But you also realize that there are reasons why that like A.J. Brown, and I was promised the big article that was going to come out about A.J. Brown being this problem and distraction, and he was the one that was the bad guy, and it wasn't Jalen. I'm still waiting for that story because it doesn't exist. It's not coming because no one feels that way. All the teammates that came out, he's my favorite teammate of all time. He's the best teammate I've ever had. The young guy spoke volumes of him. Everybody on the team loves A.J. Brown. No one seemingly wanted to step up and defend Jalen Hurts. Why is that?
I don't know. Like I don't know if you heard Rap Sheet talk on Pat McAfee the other day about the vibe at the vibe down at the training camp there. It seems like everybody's in a real relaxed and comfortable position now, where in years past, it's like, what's AJ going to say now? What's this guy going to do now? Where that's just not the case at all in the vibe down at training camp this year.
No, you could have brought AJ back. I was saying this right at the end of the season. We had Herm Edwards on the show in October or November, and Herm said, oh, no, you can't bring him back. He can't be here anymore. And people got so mad. But that was a football coach knowing the dynamic that creates in the locker room. Oh, I mean, as much I think there's like every player's different. Every team has different personalities, and the wide receiver position always has that personality, right? And AJ wasn't a type of guy that was going to burn the house down, but he was also frustrated. And guess who else was frustrated? Probably a lot of people on that offense. Devontae Smith, frustrated. And not just with Jalen Hurts, with the offense, with the offensive coordinator. They were frustrated with Jalen Hurts. So you can respect Jalen for being an MVP in the Super Bowl, and you can also be like, all right, man, like how long are we going to do this for? Because they were told going into the season, we're going to fix it. Because the previous year, even though they won the Super Bowl, it's funny to think that, the passing offense wasn't where they wanted it to be. So it was going into this year, we're not just going to be able to run the ball for 2,000 yards. We need to be able to pass the ball better. And A.J., right from Jump Street, the passing offense looked no better, and he was frustrated. But, A.J. Brown was a problem last year. I don't blame Jalen for it. I think it's very notable that no one has really stuck up for Jalen, and everybody spoke very highly of A.J. And in the time of where reporters very easily will take the word of a teammate or two or people from the organization. If the organization wanted to make Jalen look better, they very easily, someone could have talked to Rap Sheet or Schefter or whoever, or Jeff McClain, and say, hey, like, Jalen's fine. This is being overblown. AJ was, you could have very easily had your quarterbacks back off of the record in any story. Nobody did that. That's notable.
I hear you, but, I mean, you got guys talking at camp now. Everybody's having his back. We got Jalen Carter. We got Jordan Mailata, Saquon Barkley. All these guys.
They should.
They got QB1s back. They're ready to keep on developing with Sean Mannion's offense now. And he knows, the whole offense knows, it's as one team. It's whatever needs to be done to win football games.
I mean, yeah, they should say that now. And I'm sure they feel like that now. But after the season ended, and then, because you know what happens, you get that period of time before the training camps, and the reporters that have relationships either with agents, with teams, or with players, that's when those stories come out. The story that came out was about Jalen Hurts, and it wasn't positive. So stories do come out. Here's my point, that objective Club Hurts recognizes that, to where regular Club Hurts doesn't. AJ Brown's up there having fun with Drake May, catching everything, everything's great up there. That'll change at some point.
They got to put like the third string cornerbacks on him up there for him to get touchdown passes. Or Christian Gonzalez has got to be like, hey, man, I'll let you get this one. But I hear you.
He's going to have a huge year.
He'll probably put up numbers. For
1,300 plus, over under. What do you think, Robin?
I think he's slightly under. I think he has a good year, but I think it's slightly under 13. 13 is a hefty
It
number.
is. It is. He's got to stay healthy for it.
Maybe bank the show sheet here, but we do a little Patriots win-loss, because if they start off slow, that offense, they have a tougher schedule now coming off a Super Bowl. They, 2-4, what's AJ going to be saying up there if he's not getting the ball? Like, it'll be interesting. Or he is getting the numbers, but they're 2-4 up there, and Patriots fans are pissed. So it'll be interesting.
Yeah, I think he goes on social media because he didn't say anything. Again, the calculation of A.J. Brown, it rubbed me the wrong way on the way after he was finally traded, because it was, wow, like you really knew the entire time. Like this thing was as calculated as I suspected it to be. It's even more. Never said anything bad. The wink to Edelman and to Gronk was exactly what it was supposed to be. He knew he was going to the Patriots. He knew it. He knew he was going there.
Yeah, and everybody who just keeps denying, oh, he never said it out loud. He never said it. Yeah, right. Come on, guys. Look at everything, how it lined up for him. He played his cards absolutely perfect, and he's where he's always wanted to be, right? It's his childhood team, even though his childhood quarterback was talking smack on him. But anyway.
Yeah, how about that? That must have hurt.
Yeah. I mean, Tom Brady dissing your guy there.
But you know what, though? It wasn't, I'm going to diss A.J. Brown. It was, that was his opinion and reaction of it. And as an NFL quarterback, he knows exactly what's going on.
Yep.
Yeah, no, that was really good work by Brady. He didn't hold back at all. All right, 610-632-0975. 610-632-0975. We'll give you the latest on the Phillies. The trade deadline's coming up here Monday. Will the Phillies be better? How much better will they be? What do you want them to do? Also, someone's returning to the team tonight to make the start. We'll update you on that and a lot more. That's coming up next. Middays with Marks, 97.5.
Now on 97.5 The Fanatic Sports Update.
The trade deadline is inching closer. I'm Sean Rodman, and the Phillies have been linked to a number of players. On Unfiltered yesterday, the Athletics' Jason Stark believes the Phillies will add a few pieces before the deadline.
The priority list would go, number one, starting pitcher who can start a playoff game. Number two, reliever who can get you to run. Number three, some kind of bat who's an upgrade, not necessarily a right-handed hitter.
We'll keep you updated on the latest with the Phillies. The Phils are back in action today in Baltimore after the day off yesterday. First pitch is at 7:05. Brandon Young's on the mound for the Orioles, and according to Matt Gelb of The Athletic, Andrew Painter has been recalled and will start tonight for the Phils. Eagles have a walkthrough practice today after the first 2 days of practice the previous two. Yesterday, Vic Fangio alluded to the media that Jahad Campbell will no longer cross-train as an edge rusher, and the Union are back in action tomorrow night at home against Atlanta United. You can listen to the game right here on the Fanatic. Kickoff is at 7:30, and this update's been brought to you by New Jersey Department of Health. Public health works behind the scenes, building a healthier future for everyone. One mission working for you. Learn more at nj.gov/health. I'm Sean Rodman on the home of the Sixers, Flyers, and Union, 97.5 The Fanatic and the Fanatic app.
Brenda Petrilli is going to read us a line, and we have to decide it's going to be me against the worm, Sean Rodman. We're going to decide whether it's a fortune cookie, something from fortune cookie, or a Jalen Hurtsism. And I believe they're the same. I think Hurts goes on Amazon and he gets like 1,000 quantity of fortune cookies, and then he takes it and he puts his own little spin on it.
I'm going to be honest, diving through and trying to find some of these, there were some very similar ones where I'm looking on the fortune cookie website and I'm like, wait, didn't Jalen say that?
That's a fortune cookie website. That's awesome. Yeah, I actually, one time I interviewed Jalen, and I was trying to just have a little fun, and I asked him if do these come up in your head? And then, because like with me, when I have ideas, I'll put them in my voice memo of my phone, right, or the memo pad on my phone so I don't forget it. And I was kind of asking him like that, and he was just like, he didn't want to play along. Whatever, because he's got good lines, Jalen Hurts. All right, so
smart man.
That's coming up at 1 o'clock. Is it a fortune cookie or is it Jalen Hurts? All right, so the big news of the Phillies day right before we came on the air was Andrew Painter's going to be back tonight, apparently, making the start for the Phillies. Now, have we figured out are they going to try to – because after a while, they're like, okay, we're going to give him an opener. So they would have a bullpen guy open, and then Painter would come in, and they would try to have him work the next 4 or 5 innings. Has he been named the starter yet, or is the Phillies not officially named it? He's in Baltimore, so he's pitching tonight. It's a matter of what exactly – just the regular, like a regular starter? That's what they're doing? You finding anything there, Petrilli?
Yeah, I'm looking at Matt Gallup. It said they'll recall Andrew Painter and pitch tonight. Good time. Yeah, so like they haven't said he's the actual starter quite yet from looking at Matt Gallup's.
So Zielecki says that source tells him he will start tonight for the Phillies.
There you
So
go.
after he's had 5 starts in AAA, it hasn't been great. He hasn't had the start where it's like, damn, he's back. He's been okay.
What do we want tonight from Andrew Painter?
5 innings, 3 runs. You feel okay leaving. That's it.
A Nola quality start? Is that what we're looking at?
A Nola quality start. Yeah, maybe a couple swings and misses. See, like outside of the stats and everything else, his stuff just looked very ordinary. You never saw, and forget about velocity because he's still got good velocity on the fastball. It just has no movement. It's flat. And his secondary pitches aren't good enough. He can't throw them for strikes. He doesn't have great command on them. When he does throw them from strikes, guys know they're coming, which is a bad thing. So his last start in AAA, he went 6 innings and looks like he gave up a run. Well, let me pull it back up. But anyway, went 6 innings. So yeah, he's been okay down there. He's shown some glimpses. He had one outing where he gave up, I think, 7 runs. And it was like, wow, because he had a good outing, then he had that outing. So he's been okay. Honestly, there's no real reason to believe that you're going to get anything other than, all right, good start, kept them in the game. Like almost what they've been doing, what they've been asking of Rangel, which is just keep us in the game. And they've kind of been struggling to do that when he takes the mound. So that's all I need tonight. So Painter looks like he's going to make the start. They start a weekend series down in Baltimore. A lot of Phillies fans will be going down, including – I think Salciunas is doing the bus trip tomorrow.
I will be with Mr. Salciunas on that bus.
So you're going?
Yes, I will be there. I'll be doing some social for Mr. Salciunas and True Fan Travel. So, yeah, well, maybe we'll go down and we'll scout some players, too, while we're there.
Now, I wanted to go, but because I have the kids and the wife's away this weekend, and we have a bunch of events, so I wasn't able to go. Now, you bringing the cats with you down to the game, or did you keep them at home?
I could. I do have a backpack that I take them on walks on Main Street in Manayunk.
No, you don't.
Yes, I do. Damn right I do.
Do you have any pictures of that?
Yeah, I post it on my stories all the time.
What, you got a leash too as well?
I do have a leash. I have. I also got I've made like a makeshift jungle gym. You know, I buy like a couple of them and connect them so I can put them out in the yard. When I was doing my cornhole videos, I have like this big I don't know, mesh thing that I would let them run around in outside, but they're like enclosed, so like they can't get out. But yeah, so
you have a backpack that you put your cats in and you walk around?
Correct. Yeah, no, they love it. I mean, Teddy, he just meows and like when Main Street on Manayunk had Saturday, Sunday they had an art festival. I took him up and down the strip with me. Everybody was loving him. No dogs were bothering him. It was a great time.
So you have a pic. Can you put it up? You need to put it up on something.
Yeah, I could send it to Dutz to put it up. Yeah,
right.
Me with the cat backpack walking up and down Main Street in Manayunk. My boy Ted, he's the absolute homie. Sylvie, I love her too, obviously, but yeah, no, Ted's my boy.
All right.
A lot of cat love on the text line too.
What are people saying?
Well, yeah, we'll pull it up.
They're supporting your love for cats.
Oh yeah, Tracy from Mount Airy. In my experiences, men who love / like cats are more loving and sensitive overall. Big props to those guys.
Definitely sensitive.
Definitely sensitive. Yeah, for sure.
I would agree with that.
I'm a lover. I'm a big guy. I might look a little scary, but
But it actually doesn't. It kind of make sense. He is a big guy, former rugby player.
Makes sense. Teddy bear.
Yeah, and you have a cat on your shoulder when you're walking around.
Oh yeah, nah. Ted's a little too big to be on my shoulder. He's gotten a little chunky now, but yeah. And then here you go. This person: dogs smell so much worse than cats ever could. I agree. When a wet dog, that smell, it's absolutely brutal.
Yeah, but how often is a dog wet?
Yeah, but they can kind of stink all the time if you don't.
Okay, yes, they're animals that roll around out in the
cats. They lick themselves. They keep themselves clean. They're good. Like my cats are so nice and soft. Yeah, they're well maintained. Now sometimes you gotta brush them, but yeah.
Can I get a video of you brushing the cat?
Yeah, I brush Sylvie every night before bed.
No, you
yes,
don't.
I do.
Shut up.
Yes,
That's
I mean, she likes it, so she hops up. It's like a routine, She knows it's bedtime.
You have any videos of that?
Maybe not the brushing, but yeah, no, I definitely have me walking with the cat. Yeah.
What's your voice when you talk to him?
Just like this, Yeah, I talk to him regular. I'm not going high pitch.
Hey, honey.
Yeah, no, I'll walk into the house. I'll be like, hey, kids, I'm home.
Well, see, we're guilty of it. When we take a phone call, right, it'll be like, all right, let's go to Bob in Upper Darby. Bob, what's going on? But if there's a female caller, it'll be like, hey, Teresa, how you doing? You totally change your tone how you speak to a female caller. I bet you do the same thing for the cat.
Nah.
Are these female cats?
Nah, one boy, one girl. Yeah. They're brother, sister.
Are they spayed, neutered?
Yeah. Right. I got them when they were 3-4 weeks old from a junkyard.
Oh, so they're same litter.
Oh, yeah. Same litter. Yeah, brother, sister. Exact. Yeah, their gotcha day was, a week and a half ago? Yeah.
Really?
22nd? Yeah. 5 years old I've had them. 5 years.
Wow.
Now, here's the thing. It was supposed to be my grandmom's. My ex and I went to go with her to check the cats out. My grandma was like, oh, well, do you mind watching them? I'm going away. Sure. And then the ex goes, yeah, we might as well just keep them.
And you never gave them back?
I never gave them back. And then, the ex and I are now broken up.
It's not like it's difficult to find an available cat if you want to have a cat or a kitten. Generally, they're pretty plentiful.
Yeah, adopt. People.
Adopt, don't shop.
Cats end up finding you at the junkyard, though.
So I wonder if Mad Mike is a cat guy. Mad Mike, how are you, buddy? What's going on?
I am not a cat guy. I am a dog guy.
No surprise.
Come on, man.
Well, you're an alpha. That's why.
Yeah, of course. Sean Brace is definitely a cat guy.
Does he have a? Yeah, I could see him having a cat.
Hey, Sean and I get along. That's why.
Definitely a cat guy.
Yeah.
I just call it. There's a report that Jalen Hurts is writing inspirational notes to himself on his notepad. What a middle school girl. What has he got? One of those Hello Kitty notebooks, and Jalen Hurts is writing motivational quotes. Well, he is a teenage girl at the.
I asked him if he did it. He didn't say that he did it. That's what I do. I don't do quotes. I do ideas. I asked him if he came up with, when he thinks of the quotes, if he jots them down, and he didn't want to play. He gave no answer.
Get out! He's such a teenage girl. This guy is such a fake, phony fraud. He is all I've ridden the coattails of everybody else, and I portray this persona of being this aloof, I'm so mindful all the. I hate this guy. Hate his dumb face.
Do you think Jalen's a cat guy, Mike?
Yes.
Yeah, Jalen's definitely a cat guy.
Yeah,
definitely a cat guy.
Do you think he's got vision boards too?
100%. 100%. And he definitely reads everything online about himself.
I totally disagree with that. I don't think he pays a bit of attention. So he has people that tells him. No, he doesn't.
Anyway.
But hang on a second. Hang on a second. Why would you think that he does? Because he never responds to it.
He seems I gotta know what everybody's saying about me, and he is just a fake, phony fraud.
All right, what about the Phillies, Mike?
they stink too. And like, I'm glad they're free falling.
That I agree with Mike.
They are another like again. I'm so sick and tired of Bryce Harper. Like, oh, I'm going to throw every person on my team under the bus, but it's just I'm going to pretend it's just because I want to be better. But he's not a leader. He just throws anybody but himself under the bus to take the heat. I hate this guy too.
I'm surprised at your commentary. So what did you want him to do? Just say no, the team's fine. We don't need to do anything. Even though that's total BS. Even though that's total BS, right?
Yeah, it's all BS. Yeah, he should look in the mirror, and his quote should be, "I've got to do a better job." He's got to Andy Reid it, not throw everybody else and say, "We need better."
So you could call in and rip him for saying what you know is not true, because that's what you would do. You'd say he's full of crap. He's a phony.
Yeah, but at least he's a phony who's protecting his team instead of just running over him with backing the bus over him.
Oh, you're something. What do you think the Phillies do at the trade deadline?
That's another cat guy. Bryce Harper, stone cold cat guy.
Stone cold dog guy. Bryce Harper.
Nah, Bryce definitely has no pets. He doesn't want all the hypoallergenic, in the house. He keeps it clean.
You know what? He's a hamster guy. He's like a little rat weasel hamster.
Maybe a turtle or something out in the yard.
All right, Mad Mike. What do you have for lunch today?
I had a turkey and cheese on a wrap. It was pretty good.
Oh, there he goes. That sounds like it's something a cat guy would do on a wrap. Thank you. I use the wraps. They're low carb. I'm diabetic.
Yeah, I like a good wrap. I've been doing the chicken. Get the big things of chicken at whatever your local store is. Cook them up on a Sunday night. Chop it up. Make some wraps. Bring them in for lunch.
Look at you.
Yeah,
Salciunas a cat guy or dog guy?
Both.
He's got both?
He has both, yes.
Yeah, I know he's got a dog. Yeah.
Is that like eating a hot dog with mustard and ketchup? Because people rip me. The people that don't like ketchup on hot dogs, they'll say, "Oh, what are you, 4 years old, putting ketchup on a hot dog?" And I'm like, well, no, it tastes good. That's why I do that. I don't know. What about John Kincade?
He's got a dog.
Dog guy.
Named J-Roll. The dog uses a litter box at his house.
What?
Yes, you guys have never heard this?
No.
Yes, J-Roll, they have it in the garage.
Oh, it's Nicky Foles.
Oh, Nicky Foles, you're right. Other old producer was J-Roll, sorry. But Nicky Foles, yeah. He has a litter box in the garage for Nicky Foles to go out and do his business. You guys never heard that? That's crazy.
No, I can't remember hearing that.
I heard it a few times, and I was scarred. I was like, I guess if you don't want to have stains out in your yard.
What kind of a dog? Hold on, does it that exclusively does that? Because I know, and I'm not down with this, but I know that there are people that have smaller dogs. They'll put the wee pads down on the ground. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
And a lot of times with puppies and things like that, if they can't go through the day because you're at work, you'll put them in a pen and then you let them pee on that. But like, if you're not taking them out and they're just going to use a litter box in the garage, that makes me feel a certain way. If it's so they don't piss in the house, then okay, like whatever you want to do so they don't piss in the house. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know the how often the dog uses that, but yeah, maybe we'll get John to chime in towards the end of the show here and maybe give him some more love. But yeah, no, it's an interesting spot because nowadays you got the litter boxes with the automated. And, like, they hop in, they get out, and then it's just like...
Is that what you have?
I don't have that kind of money yet, John. All right? That's why we're here. That's why we're here talking with you to maybe one day, or we get a sponsor, hit me up if you're interested. But, like, to be able to afford one of those, because they're like $1,000+.
I know there's definitely a lot of kitty litter or cat box sponsorships available out there.
Yeah.
For local radio.
Yeah, no free ads, but Petco, hit me up.
Let's go to Mark. Mark's calling from Barbados. Mark, go ahead.
How you guys doing today?
Hey,
my fishing trip got rained out.
Oh, man,
I'm sorry.
so you're on vacation and the fishing trip got rained out?
No, I live here.
Oh, okay.
I'm 72 years old and I'm retired.
Good for you.
And I left Philly in 1976.
Holy cow. And moved down
there.
You moved down to Barbados?
No, I moved to San Diego first and then to Barbados.
Oh, God, look at you, man. God bless you.
But my great-grandfather had season tickets to the Philadelphia A's. My grandfather had tickets to the Phillies. My father had tickets to the Phillies, season tickets. So you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
I'm a diehard fan.
All right,
and
so what do you think?
I hate to say, it's time to fold the tent. I mean, and I see both sides of it. I do not like Dombrowski either. And what Bryce Harper said was totally legitimate. But you have to be realistic. Do you think anything the Phillies can do would make them better than the Dodgers or even the Milwaukee Brewers? I say I don't think so.
Yeah,
I don't think so.
I think it's very unlikely that unless they make a major move, which I don't think is out there to be made, that here's what you're hoping for, and it really is hope. You're hoping that the Dodgers face a tough matchup or a hot team, and in the first round, in the divisional round, they beat, so you don't play them, right? So you're not playing the better teams, and then you're almost getting lucky. I mean, I don't even know what percentage I could put it at, but it's not high. They have great starting pitching. That's what everybody's going to say. If the starting pitching can be this good and you shore up your bullpen, who knows what can happen? Well, we know what's happened. They haven't had enough offense to do anything.
Yeah, you're right, and you've choked. You've choked in the playoffs. I'm sorry to say that. I don't use that word, but they got beat by Houston. Okay, that was fine, but the series against Arizona is one of the biggest choke jobs of all time.
It still haunts me.
I would have bet the ranch that they can't win game 6 and 7. But anyway, before I got to go, I want to talk about the most worn jersey in Barbados is number 23, LeBron James.
Is it really?
They don't even know who the team is, but they know who he is. Everybody knows. My jersey's on the way, and I can't be more excited to see him. I was on the floor in the LA Forum in 1983 when they won the last championship. So it's been a long time, man, and you deserve it. You Sixer fans, man, I salute every one of you people. You've had to go through this BS process and all of the stuff that you've been through. I hope we can win a championship for everybody.
Appreciate you, Mark. Thanks for calling in. Mark from Barbados. I've never been. You been to Barbados?
Never been to Barbados. Would love to go.
What do you think he was fishing for?
Marlin, something like that. Got to be big stuff.
Yeah.
You don't go trout fishing in Barbados.
No.
So does he look like a cruise? Does Rodman look like a cruise ship guy?
No.
You don't look like a cruise guy.
Me?
You don't look like one.
Well, I guess.
Have you been on a cruise?
Oh, many. Yeah. My parents just got back from a 2-week cruise.
So you're a cruise? Are you a cruise guy, Rodman?
No, I went on one when I was a kid.
I've never been on one.
As a kid, it's a lot of fun, but
that's right.
But I don't know. I wouldn't want to do it as an adult. It's not. I'm not. I'm not.
Dude,
a
it's
boat
more
person.
fun as an adult.
I'll go on it. I know it's more fun.
Do you feel like you're on a boat when you're on there, though?
No, not at all.
I'm just worried about the recent stuff. People get sick and then you're quarantined.
For sure. I mean, my parents were they just got back like the other week. They were gone. They went on 2 different cruise ships. They went on one and then they hopped on a different one. So, I mean, they've been okay. You know, I've gone on 4 different ones. You meet new people every single time. I've met people from Scotland, from Miami, from Australia, and you keep in contact on social media and stuff still. And they're just a good time. You drink, you get the drink package, you gamble a little bit. You go to I've been to Jamaica, I've been down to South America, gone through
How many
canal.
lives has this guy lived?
I don't know.
He's a Renaissance man.
He is a Renaissance man.
We like to have fun around here.
He's walking around with cats in his backpack. He's on cruises.
Probably sneaking them onto the cruise as well.
Cats go on the cruise with you.
That'd be fun.
All right, let's go to John C. John C. in Tennessee is a member of Club Hertz. What's up, John C. in Tennessee?
Yes, John.
Hey, how's it going, guys?
What's up, brother?
I'm one of the original. I consider myself original, number 17 on my card. But
heck yeah, bro.
I want to defend that or come back against that guy, Mad Mike, about Jalen Hurts. Jalen you can tell he's a guy that's been through a lot in his life. He's had a lot of challenges, and he has risen above. I mean, he's a Super Bowl champion. He's a college champion, and he just doesn't sweat the small stuff anymore. So he doesn't engage with things that are beneath him. And it took me a couple years to come around, but I definitely got on board, and now I'm all in on that guy. I do think Bryce Harper, I agree with Mad Mike about that. He is I'm not a big fan of his anymore. I'm about done with that team. And I did want to say, I'm a dog guy, but I don't think Mad Mike should be allowed to have any pets because I feel like he's one of those guys that would torture it.
A lizard is what he needs. No, it's a Matt Mike's.
I have a lizard.
You do? What kind?
Bearded dragon.
Holy cow, I don't know what that is. You have snakes?
It looks like a little dinosaur. It's really cool. It's very active, chases after the things you feed it.
Yeah, like the necks. Is it the one that like the necks kind of like grow out too? Like when it like shows its whole.
Yeah, they puff up when they get mad.
Yeah.
It gets real puffy.
What do you feed it? Mice?
No, I give it crickets, grub worms. I catch stuff in the yard here in Tennessee, big fat grasshoppers, and he loves that stuff.
Wow. All right, man. Appreciate it. Thanks, John C. Number 17 of Club Hertz. Now, are you still accepting members to Club Hertz?
Oh, we are always accepting members. I got cards on me all the time. I'll be out and about all weekend. So if you see me, hit me up. I got a card. You know, let us know why you want to be in the club, how you'll protect Jalen and have his back, and bang, you're in the club. I might have to do a little bit more vetting since we've been letting guys like Rodman in, but we'll have to feel it out.
I'm not in. I don't even have a card.
Well, I thought you were for a little bit.
I did too for some reason.
I love Jalen.
Austin Jones is he a card carrying member?
Yes, sir. Austin is he was number 3.1. Ray was 3. Austin's 3.1 on the list.
Is Ray still in Club Hertz?
I think so.
Yeah. See, that's not a strong endorsement. I think so.
I hope Ray is wearing his Club Hertz T-shirt on the Wildwood Boardwalk right now. If Ray's in Club Hertz, he better have that thing on, spreading the news of Jalen Hurts. Not the LeBron jersey. I want the Club Hertz one out and about on the boardwalk.
What John C. had said about Bryce Harper, it felt like in the offseason that there were some people that were like, you know what, I'm kind of getting tired of this guy. The Bryce Harper scales had tipped a little bit, and I blame a lot of that on Dave Dombrowski. Because when the GM comes out and does the elite thing, and I don't know if he's good, maybe I don't know if he's elite, maybe he's just good. Now you're almost signaling to the fan base, hey, this guy's not as good as we thought he was, or he's not the same player that he once was. And it's just so unnecessary. But now the issue is there's a clear divide between the president of the team and the star player. But not only that, the manager and the GM of the team are father and son. I mean, you talk about a conflict of interest. I mean, geez. So if Bryce is at odds with the front office, which Preston Mattingly is the GM of the team, and Don Mattingly now is the manager, I mean, that's a difficult situation for Don himself to have to manage and to walk. But it sure seems like, can we play the Mattingly sound? All right, Mattingly, he wasn't happy with Bryce Harper speaking about this whole thing. Here's Don Mattingly.
I sense Bryce thinking about it. I don't really sense anybody else thinking about it, honestly. I mean, you've been through this. Guys want to be GMs, what you need, without a real understanding of where the organization is, exactly where this thing goes, not only this year, but moving forward. So, again, players like being GMs and making calls and spending other people's money. So let's let it go at that.
No, shut up. Shut up, Don. Players like being GMs, whatever. No, maybe Bryce Harper's desperate because the team isn't good enough, and everybody knew it. After last season, when the GM showed no urgency, or the president showed no urgency, and went out and said, we have a good club, we have a good club, we have a good club.
We have a good club.
Right? And he kept saying it.
We have a good club.
That was the, I'm down, I feel bad, we have a good club. And then later,
we have a good club.
That's when he was like, just listen to me, we have a good club. Right now, it doesn't feel like they have a good club.
I'm down on the Phillies.
Coming up. So are we going to play the game? Are we ready?
Oh, we're as ready as we'll ever be. Let's get it.
Is it a fortune cookie or a Jalen Hurts-ism? Petrilli has a number of things that are either things that Jalen Hurts said or it's from a fortune cookie. And Robin and I have to decide which one it is, and we'll compete to see who's the winner. That's coming up next, Middays with Marks 97.5. Do I have a Bet Parks right here?
Correct.
All right, let's talk about Bet Parks for a second. There's so much to do. I actually have to put in my my Bet Parks pick of the day coming up here because like with all, listen, there's women's pro basketball, there's golf, there's MMA, there's baseball going on right now, and the Fighting start a series down there. But there's also futures. There's futures on pro basketball, your team, your town, and there's also birds because training camp's underway. And right now, the BetParks online casino and sportsbook has all of your future bets on pro football and who wins it all this year. So let me give you 3 examples because the top 3 favorites to win it all, Los Angeles, $25 pays $162.50. Baltimore, a $25 bet pays $250, and Buffalo's the same thing, $250 for a $25 bet. What about the Birds? $25 if they win it all, $425. I was on there last week. Their over-under for win total is 10.5. So if they were to get 11 wins, that puts them over. Doesn't it seem impossible they're not getting 11 wins? Anyway, check it all out on the BetParks app all summer long, whether you're talking about sports or whether you're talking about the casino. That's right. Right at your fingertips. Blackjack, craps, poker, all your favorite classic casino games. So check it out. The BetParks online casino and sportsbook app, where there's always another way to win. You must be 21 and in PA, New Jersey, Michigan, or Maryland. Details at betparks.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Now on 97.5 The Fanatic Sports Update.
Who will the Phillies add at the deadline? I'm Sean Rodman, and the Phillies have been linked to a number of players. Yesterday on Unfiltered, the Athletics' Jason Stark mentioned a few names on the Blue Jays the Phillies are interested in.
Dalton Varsho is an interesting name. I think he's farther down the Phillies list. Kevin Glanzman, Jeff Hoffman, there is definite interest and a definite possible match. I would definitely watch that team.
The Phils are back in action today in Baltimore after the day off yesterday. First pitch is at 7:05. Brandon Young is on the mound for the Orioles, and according to multiple reports, Andrew Painter will be pitching tonight for the Phillies. He is in Baltimore. The Eagles have a walkthrough today after the first 2 days of camp to start the week, and The Athletic is reporting that LeBron James and ESPN are finalizing a documentary team following him around with the Sixers this season. This update's been brought to you by New Jersey Department of Health. Public Health works behind the scenes, building a healthier future for everyone. One mission working for you. Learn more at nj.com/health. I'm Sean Rodman on the Sixers, Flyers, and Union, 97.5 The Fanatic and the Fanatic app.
Someone who turns your heart around, and next thing you know, you're closing down the town. Wake up and it's
Yacht Rock Friday. Middays with Marks. The Brendan Petrilli producing. Sean the Warren Rodman producing updates, etc. Have you seen the video of Petrilli and the cat?
No, I have not.
We have our game that we're doing coming up here. All right, so picture what's his nuts from The Hangover with the baby strap, and that's Petrilli with his cats.
The Zach Galifianakis character?
Yes, honestly.
Oh, my God.
Up and down the streets of Manioc, man. Come on.
How do we get this out on social media?
My boy Ted. My boy Ted loves it.
So that's Ted. He wears it. When you say a backpack, it's on the front of you.
Oh, he likes to see where we're going.
I'm putting it on my Instagram story right now. John Marks Media. Yeah, not that you shouldn't follow Petrilli on Instagram, or the Worm Sean Rodman for that matter. For crying out loud. So how do they find you, Petrilli?
At Brendan Petrilli on all platforms. Give me if you're on YouTube, the YouTube gang, go to BSP Media. Give me some subscribers there. Need to get to 1,000. Let's start making some money.
Unbelievable. All right, Rodman, you're just the Worm. Is that what it is on?
Close. Just S Rodman 13.
S Rodman 13. All right. So tell us what we have in this game that we have coming up. So Rodman and I both have whiteboards and with the marker with it because we're going to write our answers so we can't cheat. And then, therefore, try because we want to win.
Wait, what are you looking at me for?
Well, I'm just saying. Yeah. There's strategy. If I say something, you say like, yeah, I agree with that. It's like, hang on, you can't agree with me. You have to give an honest answer. So, what are we doing here, Petrilli?
Yeah, so we're going to be doing a little bit of quotes here with Jalen Hurts, or is it a fortune cookie?
So is it a Hurts-ism?
Trying to be the coffee bean.
Or a fortune cookie?
So, everybody loves to, ever since Jalen got here, he's always been dropping bars left and right. And I think it's become a saying around the fan base. It's a Jalenism. So now it's time to really take a deep dive in and try to see what you guys think, if he is stealing from it, like John might think, or it is what Jalen has said in the past to try to either figure out some things or get the guys motivated moving forward here. So we got a couple different ones here. I'm not going to say how many I have of each. I don't want you guys counting it up or anything, but there are a few different ones that are going to be interesting where I think are very similar that you guys are going to struggle with. So,
all right, so you're going to read us a quote. We decide whether it's a fortune cookie or it's a Jalen Hurts-ism.
Correct.
All right, go ahead.
All right, here we go, fellas. Very first one here. Let's start off hot. Don't hold on to things that require a tight grip. Is that a Hurtsism or is that from a fortune cookie?
I go Hurts.
I go cookie.
You guys are split on this from the get-go here, and it is
a fortune cookie.
Oh!
It is a fortune cookie to out the gate because I figured that one could have been an interesting one where it could have been Jalen ripping that off from a fortune cookie there. But it was not. It was.
All right, give me the next one.
Let's go to the next one. This one will warm you up. When you look at yourself in the mirror, you say you can control the things that you can control. That's how bleeping you get better. Is that a Hurtsism or is that a fortune cookie?
That's not going to be a fortune cookie.
There's no bleeping in fortune cookies.
Come on, that's Hurts.
Well, fellas, I was just trying to warm us up here because
when you look yourself in the mirror as a man and you say, I'm going to control the things I can control, that's how you get better. That's how you get better. That's how you take steps. That's how you take steps.
We were just trying to get everybody on the board.
That's
there.
all right.
Get a feel for what we're talking about.
Rodman's 2 for 2. I screwed up the first one. Go ahead.
All right, on to the next here. Let's go with I walk through the fire time and time again, and it makes me stronger.
All right, well, it Hurts.
Is it?
I think so. What does Rodman say?
I mean, speaking first person, it's got to be Hurts.
Yeah, you got.
I'm just using context clues.
You got to disguise these a little bit more.
You may or may not be right because you might be both right.
Well, just play it.
I know I've walked through the fire time and time again, and in the end, it's always made me stronger.
Yep, and this year he's going to be walking through the fire again, and he was stronger from last year. We'll see. All right, what do we got?
Yeah,
3 for 3, Rodman.
Rodman is red hot, so carry scars wherever you go. Don't forget and waste your energy on opinions that don't matter?
Ooh. All right. I'm going FC, fortune cookie.
Fortune cookie as well?
Fortune cookie? Why do you guys think that? Is there reasons?
It sounds like something like I'm trying to picture if that's something that would be on one of the little notes inside the fortune cookie.
When I think of Jalen Hurts, it's got to be on a T-shirt, and that doesn't scream T-shirt to me.
No. Well, here we go.
Scars on me everywhere I go. I don't forget. Do I waste my energy worrying about the opinion of someone else, opinion of a sheep? No.
When was that from?
That's awesome.
That was after they lost when they lost the Super Bowl after the press conference afterwards. So, he was catching a lot of flack for that Super Bowl game, fumbling the football, and can't be keeping track of opinions of a sheep. So,
all right. I mean, for the people that said that blamed him for the Super Bowl loss, it's so short-sighted. Yeah, it was a mistake. Those things are going to happen. He played his ass off. They're not there unless he plays as well as he does. It's like the defense was good. That was the Jonathan Gannon defense that sucked, and everybody knew it.
Yep.
Whenever they played a good quarterback, they sucked. All right, what do you got?
All right, next one here, kind of in the same vein maybe, but I didn't come this far to only come this far.
Yeah, it hurts.
Jalen Hurts.
It's a fortune cookie.
No!
Really?
He's got us off the scent.
Yep. I tried to lull you guys in to start here. Now it's going to get a little interesting because, that 100% seems like Jalen saw that on the website I looked up and has definitely said it more than once.
But that's officially a fortune
cookie. That
cookie.
is officially a fortune cookie on fortunecookie.com. So.
All right,
on to the next one here. Vulnerability sounds like faith and looks like courage.
Ooh.
Is that a Hertzism or is that a fortune cookie?
See, now you're in my head now. Repeat it.
Vulnerability sounds like faith and looks like courage.
All right. I got mine.
I got
Hertz.
Fortune cookie.
Fortune cookie by Rodman and Hertz.
It's a fortune cookie.
Now I'm down 2.
Rodman is on fire right now. Attaboy, Shawnee.
Yeah, and you said I'm not in Club Hurts.
That's why I was surprised when you said that. I was like, I thought you were riding with us, Sean.
Yeah, I might have to get a card just for this if I win.
I don't know. You got some more explaining to do after we move forward here. But all right, let's get on to the next one here. Where are we at? So, sorry, fellas. Let's do. I got sidetracked. Each time you break your own boundaries to ensure that someone else likes you, you like yourself a little less. Is that a Hertzism or is that a fortune cookie?
God.
Each time you break your own boundaries to ensure that someone else likes you, you like yourself a little less.
Does that sound like something Hertz would say? It doesn't.
I don't know.
To me, it doesn't.
This one's a toss-up.
Hey, maybe he's talking about some wide receiver.
I got my answer.
What do we got, fellas?
I'm going FC.
Fortune cookie.
Fortune cookie. You both are back on the right track.
A fortune cookie.
That was a tough one, though. All right, couple more.
So, sorry. I'm struggling reading my own handwriting right now. That's why. I'm sorry.
That's a problem.
Yeah. You now that you have that mentality and everything you do, man, I'm really struggling. I'm sorry, fellas. You may not know, but you may not know now, but you will later will understand. You may not know it now, but later you will understand. Is that a fortune cookie or is that a Jalenism?
That feels like it could be either one.
Yeah, I got my answer.
What do we got?
I'm going Jalen Hurts.
Hurts.
No.
But my favorite verse, I went through a lot of stuff in college, and it kind of stuck with me. John 13:7. You may not know now, but later you'll understand. Hopefully people understand.
It's his favorite verse, fellas. Favorite verse.
It's impressive how he just rolls it out. Bam.
He is an absolute wordsmith. What do we got for the score here? I got one more for us here.
Do it. He's up by 2, so it's over.
He's up by 2. Well, let's
do one more.
Yeah, let's finish the last one here. Be careful who you trust. Salt and sugar look the same. Is that a Rodman with the absolute dominating day today.
I could hear Jalen saying that, so I say Hurts.
Rodman?
I'm going Hurts as well.
You're going Hurts as well. Well, we're finishing it off with
a fortune cookie.
God. Well, listen. That is fortune cookie or Jalen Hurts, and I said it. You were in my head. I did not have a good feel for that. I did not. Good job there, Petrilli.
Thank you, fellas. Thanks for bearing with me, everybody.
That's all right. That's all right. You did it. How tough was it to find Jalen Hurts isms?
Isms? A quick YouTube search and we got the job done.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a bunch of highlight reels out there of people putting them together. So just finding the right ones.
Gotcha. 1 o'clock hour brought to you by Morgenstern Hair Restorations. Great team stick together. So does great hair. Morgenstern Hair Restoration championship results. Visit morgensternhair.com. 610-831-HAIR. 610-831-HAIR. Can we get to we played the Vic Fangio, Uncle Vic from earlier. Can we do the where they asked him about the best signing? So ask him about LeBron. And the thing I really, really like about Vic, other than he's a world-class defensive coordinator and won a Super Bowl with the Eagles with that defense, is that he's a huge Phillies fan. And he also, he's a Philadelphia sports fan. So you go up there, typically he'll come out and he'll say something right off the bat about the Phillies. Like when he said,
I'm down on the Phillies.
Right? So you know that you're going to get something. You can ask him. I don't know if we have it up here.
What's the reasoning behind that?
When they started Aaron Nola, he came out and he's like, nope, everything's fine. We're good. And they're like, yeah, but what do you think of Nola starting? And he goes, huh? It's again, Nola starting the playoff games. You could tell he was like, what the hell?
Well, he called it. He called the piggyback situation in that game too.
He did, but he was also being positive.
Yeah. Rob was his guy. Yeah.
Rob Thompson was his guy. He said he was down on the Phillies because they fired Rob Thompson. Now I wish we had Rob Thompson back. Can we do that? Can we bring Rob back and then put Mattingly back to being the bench coach?
Just keep flip-flopping, get that mojo back each time. It seems to work when they do fire a guy and put somebody else new.
No, you're right. That's the problem is they need to fire Don to now light a fire under their ass again. Now, legitimately, I can't stand Don Mattingly. I'm already there. I'm not even gonna lie about it. I'm not even saying like, oh, it's his fault that they're not winning. It just shows you how little it had to do with them winning when Don Mattingly was the manager. He's got no feel for this team.
Yeah, the guy's managed two different organizations in the past, too, and this is kind of going down the same exact path that he struggled with at the Marlins and with the Dodgers. You know, you saw how how the Dodgers have taken off ever since Donnie Baseball's left there. Now, it took a few years for that transition to finally get over the hump out in L.A., but
whatever.
Proof's in the pudding there, I think.
All right, so here's Vic Fangio. So is the question in it, or is it just him answering? They're asking him about LeBron and being the best signing in Philadelphia sports. Here's what he said.
Obviously, the Sixers had a great sequence there because it wouldn't have happened without Brown getting here. But it still wasn't the greatest signing or acquisition in Philadelphia sports history. Who knows what it is? Jeff McClain can't answer. Huh? Pete Rose. There you go. There you go. Not even close, but, you know, if you were born after 1970, you wouldn't have known about it.
Yeah, we had the same discussion, and I had said Pete Rose, and it's like, I don't know about Pete Rose. They signed him in 1979. So the year before, it's actually on today in 1978. He had a 44-game hitting streak, and Pete was in his late 30s at the time. He came here, I think he was 37. So it's not like you had a 32-year-old Pete Rose that had already established himself, but he was a veteran. But at the end of he was exiting his prime. No, he was a player in his mid to late 30s that had a 40-some game hitting streak. He comes here. They don't make the playoffs in 1979. Pete was very good. 1980, they win a World Series. It really is something that when you think about the moves, Moses was a lot like Pete. Moses came because the 76ers couldn't get over the hump. They could make a conference finals. They couldn't win. The Phillies couldn't make a World Series because they couldn't get past the divisional or the championship series. They didn't have divisional round back then. You won your division, and then you made the National League Championship, and then you had to go to the World Series. And they couldn't get over the hump. Many times they were either the best team in baseball or they had very good opportunities to win, to make it to the World Series, and they didn't. And Pete was supposed to be the move that put them over the top, and it ended up being they won in 80. They went back in 83. Pete wasn't as good in 83, and then he left after that. Moses brought him a championship. So, I mean, this is a huge huge signing, and LeBron's LeBron. It's also, 40 some years afterwards. It's hard to compare eras. Like, what would Pete Rose in 2026 terms? How big of a move would Pete Rose to the Phillies be? In the exact same way that he went before. Similar,
yeah. I don't know in today's era who that could be, but similar. If that Pete Rose were to be injected into this lineup, it would be very similar to 1979. I think that he's a transcendent player that Philadelphia needed at that time, and obviously got him over the hump a little bit later on. But right now, I don't know who's that guy in Philadelphia for the Phillies.
No, there's probably nobody. And LeBron, literally, there couldn't have been. There's not a bigger story in sports than LeBron going to the Sixers. The NFL as a whole, the NFL is always going to be king, and it's going to be huge. But outside of just the NFL, LeBron still is printing currency with everything.
Yeah, like with LeBron, really just he brings everything with you. People want to call it a circus. I call it, money, right? This is great for us here. It's great for the city. Was that same effect for Tom Brady when he went to Tampa Bay? Like, I feel like it wasn't as big. The drama behind him and Belichick and Kraft breaking up was huge, but him actually going down to Tampa Bay, I feel like it didn't have the same cachet and feel as it does here. And maybe that's just because we're living in it. But
No, because as big of a star as Tom Brady is in the NFL, he's a tenth of the star as LeBron James is as a whole, right? Tom Brady's the best quarterback of all time. LeBron James is LeBron James. Like NFL stars like Jordan and LeBron and Allen Iverson, they carry a certain rock star feel that NFL players don't, because there's more NFL players on the field. The quarterbacks are the quarterbacks, yes, but they don't. Like, Tom Brady can be the best quarterback of all time, but he's not LeBron James. LeBron James is LeBron James. He's a bigger star.
Yeah, you tried the TB12, the branding and stuff
cares.
like nobody cared, like the diets, the clothing brands. It just never picked up the way that it does for NBA players.
He thought he could start a Jordan brand.
Yeah.
And nobody cared about TB12. Not one person. Except maybe a couple of jabronis up in Boston.
Yeah.
Right? But LeBron, and I guess Fanatics put the data out, in the first 48 hours since anybody changing a team, it's by far, they've sold the most gear, most of everything of LeBron to the Sixers. Which is, I'm not surprised, right? If you went to Miami, everybody's already got Miami stuff down there. Like, I think that it's LeBron, and it's like this with Tom Brady. Tom Brady going back to the Patriots is boring. All right, he stayed in New England. All right, great. And he won how many Super Bowls up there, and he stays in New England. Whatever. He goes to Tampa Bay, now you have storylines. He wins a Super Bowl. Belichick sucks. You have real storylines. It was far more better for the NFL that he went to Tampa than if he stayed in New England. It doesn't affect the ratings as a whole. The people are still going to watch football. It was a better story. LeBron going to the 76ers for the NBA does more for the NBA than anything that Tom Brady could have done for the NFL, because this is a huge story. He goes to Miami, a little bit of a yawn. He goes back to Cleveland. Oh, people are going to say it's a nice story. He goes to Golden State. I think that's a good story. They're not going to win. He goes to the 76ers and puts pressure on himself because this is the place where he has the best chance to win. Now he can't just go and make the Eastern Conference Final and lose. Now he can't just lose in the second round of the playoffs. If he doesn't win, it's going to be on him. Period. That's what they're going to say. He's already being accused of having a stacked roster. He's already being accused of, you're ring chasing, even if that's total bogus BS. He's put the most pressure on him by going to the 76ers. That's awesome. Awesome for us. It's awesome for the league.
And with him doing the documentary, following him around, we're going to see every single emotion and sweat, or if he's out in the golf course too much and that's why they don't win, right? Like, we're going to see every little bit of this process that the Sixers have moving forward these next probably 2 seasons, and it'll all be right there for us, probably on Netflix or whatever, and it'll just be one of those things that we can hold on forever, and hopefully it ends in a championship.
Well,
and it's going to be, I just can't wait.
So if people haven't heard, whoever this photographer or producer, whoever this guy is, he's already been following him around.
Mm-hmm.
So he already has a ton of footage. But now they know, as he's entering the final phase of his career, that there's going to be a documentary similar to The Final Dance on LeBron. And whatever they've already filmed. This is probably, let's say that you're doing, 5 hours on it. The first 2 hours are probably him. When did they start it? When he went to the Lakers? That's really when they started filming stuff. So you'll do some stuff early in the career, and then it's going to be he goes to the Lakers, and then the majority of it is going to be the last couple years in Philadelphia, which is unbelievable to think that that's what we have right now.
You don't think there's going to be that much Miami stuff, and especially going back to Cleveland the second time? I think that's where
I don't think they have it. This dude started filming stuff specifically. They'll have stuff.
Right.
But whoever this guy is started filming stuff specifically the last couple of years in Los Angeles with the idea of we're doing a Michael Jordan-esque type documentary on LeBron. So I don't, without knowing a lot of the details, I don't know how much they'll have from before. But, I mean, the last, I mean, it was The Last Dance, but it also had stuff from earlier in his career, but really it was that last season. So I don't know if this is going to be focused on the last 2 years of his career or how much it's going to be previous to that. Guess we're going to find out. But he's going to, by the way, I'll just go back on the record. He's playing more than 2 seasons. He is going to play more than 2 seasons. And I'm not even saying in Philadelphia. I don't think he retires after 2 years. Could, but I'm not dead set on that at all. All right, coming up, 610-632-0975. 610-632-0975. Middays with Marks, Petrilli, the Worm, Sean Rodman. Your phone calls. We have some voice memos that we're going to play coming up, more on the Sixers and the Phillies. And a story that's coming out of San Francisco with Harrison Bader. If we want to rip Dave Dombrowski for everything, and we are today, then I think we can also say, hey, this was a pretty good move. The weirdest story for Bader, who hasn't played in a long time, and he's not going to be playing anytime soon. We'll get to that coming up. The 1 o'clock hour brought to you by Morgenstern Hair Restoration. Great teams stick together. So does great hair. Morgenstern Hair Restoration. Championship results. Visit morgensternhair.com. 610-831-HAIR. Give them a call. Back after this.
Now on 97.5 The Fanatic Sports Update.
The trade deadline is just a few days away. I'm Sean Rodman, and the Phillies have been linked to a number of players. The priority list, according to the Athletics' Jason Stark, goes by starting pitcher, reliever, then some kind of bat who is an upgrade. The Phils are back in action today in Baltimore after the day off yesterday. First pitch is at 7:05. Brandon Young is going to get the start for the Orioles today, and according to reports, Andrew Painter will potentially get the start today. He will pitch, though, depending if there is an opener or not. The Eagles have a walkthrough today after the first 2 days of practice. One player missing from practice is Jonathan Grenard. Vic Fangio was asked about him yesterday.
Do you expect him to get on the field before the start of the season so you get a little time?
That remains to be seen.
We'll keep you updated on Jonathan Grenard, and The Athletic is reporting that LeBron James and ESPN are finalizing a documentary team following him around the Sixers this season. And this update's been brought to you by Verizon Business. Verizon Business experts love small businesses, so they come directly to you on your schedule. With real expertise tailored to your needs, make an appointment with a Verizon Business expert. Go to verizon.com/book today. I'm Sean Rodman on the home of the Sixers, Flyers, and Union, 97.5 The Fanatic and The Fanatic app.
All right, we're back middays with Marks. Get this Bader story coming up. I want to hit the Davis Honda text line. I believe Sean Bernard has a 76er voice memo. What do we got?
What's going on, fellas? It's Sean Bernard out Manning checking in from Crossing Broad and DraftKings Network. And shout out to BP and Rodman for holding things down in studio. Been an awesome listen so far. I did want to touch on a Sixers point that I do not think we've talked about quite enough to this point. We've talked a lot about the legacy conversation from LeBron James' perspective, as he looks to become the first player in NBA history to win 4 championships with 4 different teams and cement himself as the greatest player of all time. But the guy that would see the way that he's talked about shift the most, if this team does get over the championship hump, is absolutely Joel Embiid. If you had a championship to his resume that already boasts him being a 7-time All-Star, 5-time All-NBA, 3-time All-Defensive Team member, 2-time scoring champion, and MVP, we're talking about the most successful career of any player to ever wear a 76ers uniform, and a guy who's in the conversation for the all-time greats in NBA history. You can throw your availability critiques, but the facts are the facts. There is not another player with that level of accomplished resume to suit up for the Sixers, and very few in the league overall.
Yeah, I mean, he's going to get his number retired regardless. Do we agree with that? Embiid?
Yeah, right?
Yeah, he'll definitely get it retired.
Yeah.
Definitely?
He was an MVP, right?
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, what other... It's not like we're growing them on trees around here.
Well, the Sixers also have... I'm trying to think of their guys that they've retired. Bobby Jones has his number retired. He won a championship, but he wasn't a 2-time scoring champion. Maurice Cheek's one of my favorite Philadelphia athletes, has his number retired, and they won championships. But Embiid... He's one of the best to put a Sixers uniform on, but he also hasn't made it out of the second round of the playoffs. So Sean Bernard can say, "Oh, but he wins the championship." Yeah, but the championship was won not because of him. He was never going to get it done without them bringing in LeBron. Seriously, let's at least call it for what it is.
Yeah. Well, do you think without LeBron, if it was Jaylen Brown here, is that still the same sentiment? Or do you think the two of them...
They're not winning a title.
You don't think they wouldn't be able to compete it for one, and then Embiid got them over the hump, staying healthy for a full year with Jaylen Brown, with Maxey, with Edgecombe?
We're doing that?
I don't know.
We're doing the Embiid healthy thing?
No, but...
They're not a good enough team to win the Eastern Conference with Jaylen Brown. They're better. They're closer. Could they make an Eastern Conference final? Yeah, probably. Maybe. I don't know. Are they winning? Dude, he's going to play an entire series. You could sit him out the entire year, and he could miss game 2 of a series because of an injury. And I'm not even trying to criticize him for it. That's just a fact. That's a reality.
For sure.
So not only you can game manage him all you want, but he's got to make it through the season, and then he's got to be healthy enough to make it through playoff series.
Yeah. No, my whole point was, now that LeBron's here, it's because LeBron's here, they're going to win the chip. All I was thinking was, if LeBron wasn't here, and say they do... What is that a different look for Embiid where it's like, okay, fine, yeah, he was a big reason why they won. Now LeBron's here, it's not going to be because of Embiid anymore. So that's all I was...
If they win with LeBron, does it change his legacy? Yeah, sure, it does a little bit. He won. Well, Dr. J needed Moses, and that doesn't change his legacy, but people would say Doc never won a championship. For sure. Dan Marino never won a Super Bowl. Right? People say that. I mean, it's one of the first things you hear about Dan Marino. Never won a Super Bowl. Charles Barkley never won a title. Shaq rubs that in his face, right? Mm-hmm. So if Doc wouldn't have had Moses and wouldn't have won a championship, he'd still be Doc. It'd be pointed out he never won a championship. And he got close many, many times. And Embiid's never been close.
You're right.
He's never been to a final. He's never been to an Eastern Conference final. He's nowhere near being a championship-type player at this point. In fact, I mean, some people would say he's a loser, Joel Embiid. Not me, because people get mad when I say that. But doesn't this team more than anything need somebody to come in and say, I'm the leader, I'm the winner, get on my back, let's go?
Yeah.
That's what they have.
Yeah, and I think Tyrese Maxey was trying to be that guy the last couple of years to try to motivate Joel, calling him out in the locker room and stuff like that, and it did not work. Embiid did not like it. Now, if Jaylen Brown and LeBron James come in, who are, top 10 players in the game like Embiid when he is healthy, is he going to listen to those guys? I hope so. He should. This is the time he has to realize it's now or never. It's him going to Team USA and, saying, I'm going to go win a gold medal with these guys is what's happening.
Yeah, well, he's going to be on his best behavior this year because now you're not showing up to shoot around with LeBron being there.
The cameras will find him.
All right. Well, listen, were you a Harrison Bader guy? Did you want the Phillies to re-sign him?
When it happened, I was out there with Bill hanging out, and it was just meh. You know, like when they first got him, it was a meh trade. And then all of a sudden, he worked his way into a solid outfielder that we haven't seen be consistent. And then I think when he got hurt in that playoff series, it was a huge downfall and turn in that Dodgers series.
They needed him for sure. But were you mad when they didn't give him the 2 years and $21 million?
No, I wasn't.
I wouldn't. If he had a player option, Rodman, and he didn't pick up the player option, and then he outpriced himself from the Phillies. But he did get the bigger paycheck he was looking for.
Yeah, good for him for getting the bigger paycheck, but I didn't want him back here in Philadelphia because he wasn't what they needed. They were at that point, we thought Crawford was going to come up. We were hopeful of Crawford and what he could do to play center field, and they needed someone that had more pop in one of the corners and that could play defensive right field or left field. And they tried that with Garcia, and obviously didn't work out.
Oh, boy, I forgot about him. Well, he was good. He was good last year. I was a fan. I would not have re-signed him. I was glad Dave Dombrowski didn't. It was a good move. Last I checked when he was playing, he was batting 170. So he's one of the worst players in Major League Baseball. But he hasn't been playing. He hasn't played since May 29th. And he had a foot issue. And he had setbacks. He was trying to rehab, and he kept getting setbacks. So I'm reading from the New York Post here, and it says, before he can make it to the foot specialist, because he had a setback, you're supposed to see a foot specialist, he suffered a different kind of setback. In an update Tuesday, the team said Bader had further injured his same foot in a scooter accident on Saturday night, early Sunday morning. And by Thursday, it was when the details of the story started coming out. According to statements from the San Francisco Fire and Police Departments, Bader was transported to a local hospital around 2 a.m. on Sunday morning with non-life-threatening injuries. The incident occurred in the Marina District. A witness who spoke to, I guess this newspaper, shed more light on the incident, telling the publication that it took place outside of the famed Balboa Cafe, a popular drinking hole owned by Governor Gavin Newsom, and involved a San Francisco Fire Department vehicle. Bader rode his scooter into the back of a fire truck, which then ran over the same foot that was already injured, causing major injury. A local TV affiliate, KPIX, cited multiple witnesses who said Bader was seen drinking at bars across the city preceding the incident. So Bader, who has an injured foot, so much so that he's had setbacks and he was set to see a foot specialist, was out drinking and was riding around on a scooter and ran into the back of a fire truck, which then ran his foot over and caused severe injury.
Jeez. Like, that's crazy. It sounds like something I'd do out on the streets. Not a professional athlete. Like, what are we doing?
Don't they have Waymos out there that he could just take?
Who knows where he lives? Maybe he lives like somewhere in the area, and it's like, hey, just let me take the scooter down. I don't have to drive and whatever. And who knows how much he had to drink? It's a really, really bad look. He ran in the back of a fire truck, and then the fire truck ran over his foot, causing severe injury.
What was the fire truck doing out on the road, just chilling, too? Like, was it just out on display for the night? Like,
well, I mean, let's say there was, you ever see how sometimes there's a medical emergency, and instead of just the ambulance coming out, the fire truck comes out as well because they're EMTs? Maybe that happened. Maybe there was a fire.
Yeah, maybe he was trying to go help. He was trying to get in there, first responder Harrison Bader, and he went into the back of it.
Well, doesn't look like Bader's going to be playing this year, especially now. Very interesting.
So does that mean this Giants team, they've been struggling as a whole. Are they a candidate where the Phillies can kind of look at that team to go get a couple guys?
They're horrible. They're like 15 games under 500, I believe.
Yeah, they got their own type of Gabe Kapler out there as their manager, too. So it's like...
oh, God. He's the Tennessee
Tennessee, head coach.
Tennessee head coach. He's been terrible. They're 47-62. Yeah, they're 15 games under. There you go. Bader was batting 170, and he's played just 30 games. That's a 2-year, $20+ million contract they gave him. Coming up, YouTube chat recap. We'll finish it off with everything we missed. Middays with Marks, 97.5 The Fanatic.
This is 97.5 The Fanatic, your home.
Somehow I believe we'd always survive. Now I'm not so sure you're waiting to hear one good reason.
All right, Middays with Marks. Appreciate Brendan Pachilli and Sean Rodman today. We'll be back on Monday, or I'll be back on Monday. I don't know. Sean's not back till later next week. I don't even know when he's back. Ray will be back on Monday. All right, couple things. YouTube chat recap coming up here in a second. Andrew Painter on the mound tonight, according to reports, for the Phillies. Looking forward to that. A lot of Phillies fans going down to Baltimore this weekend. That should be cool. Happy birthday. I said this earlier, but it's worth another mention. Happy birthday to Gabe Kapler. Number 51 for good old Gabe.
You think he's tanning today?
Yeah. He's in Miami now? He's a GM down there?
Yeah.
Is that what he's doing?
Yeah. Is he still there? He didn't get fired?
I think he's still there. I like Gabe. Gabe was a different guy. He was interesting. He probably wasn't the best fit for a clubhouse that had a lot of alphas in there because Gabe was Gabe. But ultimately, do I think he was a good manager? No, I don't think he was a good manager. I like Gabe. I got a couple pictures of him. I did some interviews with him. Do you remember the stories about Gabe Kapler? That like he would eat the chips.
No, ice cream and spit it out.
No, he would eat one chip, and he would only eat one chip.
I'm sorry, what?
So Gabe Kapler, he was in – typically baseball managers aren't, ripped and have perfect physiques and wear, banana hammocks and things like that. So that's something Gabe did. But so the stories were – and this was in a story where he would only have one potato chip and he would eat ice cream and then spit it out. So he got the taste of it in his mouth, but then he wouldn't have the calories because he would spit it out.
Love it.
So I asked him, I tried to ask him about it. A lot like Jalen Hurts when I was trying to have fun with him about the quotes, and Kapler wanted nothing to do with having that conversation. He stopped me in my tracks, and it was not rudely or anything like that either, but he just wanted nothing to do with the conversation, which I was disappointed in because he had talked about it with ice cream and stuff like that. So he didn't want to talk about it.
Yeah, and then Howard came out with him tanning his under, his down region, and just going absolutely off. Like, what is our manager like?
Yep, and he was, but crazy. Gabe was a good dude.
If you're gonna put that out there, you got to talk about it, even if it's just to poke fun at yourself.
Yeah, like that wasn't Gabe. He was
he was big on TikTok recently though. Within the last year, he'd be posting these
cooking.
Yeah, cooking and thirst trap videos.
Was he doing thirst trap?
Oh yeah, him putting the shirt on, with the filter. His eyes are popping nice and blue. You've never seen these? I'll have to show you.
I'm not on TikTok. I am on TikTok, but I don't ever look or log in because I should.
Yeah, it's a devil if you do, and then if you don't, with where we're at in media, we need to post.
No, in fact, I don't. I'm fine. I don't. I'm good. I can do it. I can deal with the other Instagrams and whatever else.
But yeah, Gabe's still assistant general manager down there in Miami.
Good for him.
Happy birthday, Gabe.
Happy birthday, Gabe Kapler. You know what? All right, so let's do this, and then we'll do the YouTube chat recap. Baker Mayfield feels disrespected down in Tampa, and I was thinking about this. It's actually a good move, and it's a ballsy move by Tampa because the Bucs are offering Baker Mayfield, at least according to what he said, 2 years and not the $50 million that's going around. So if you're a starting quarterback in the league, an above-average starting quarterback, you're getting $50 million per year. And you're getting more than 2 years. And they're only offering him 2 years, and he felt disrespected by it. Yo, Baker, I mean, he's a quality starting quarterback. If I needed a starting quarterback and I didn't care about winning a Super Bowl and he was available, I'd say, okay, sure. Well, we can go get Baker Mayfield. He ain't winning a Super Bowl. At least I don't think. If I'm trying to win a Super Bowl, I'm not bringing in Baker Mayfield. You look at it. You look at what they did last year. They lost 7 of 9 games at the end of the season. So you know what they could do? They could say, okay, yeah, let's go re-sign that guy and do this for 2 more years. Or they could say, nah, this is what we're willing to give you. And if it kind of feels like they made him an offer they knew he was going to refuse. Because I'm of the opinion of that, if you can't win, it's better to be bad and then become good than to continue to extend being good enough, but ultimately not good. The Bucs are playing a bad division, and they could win a playoff game. That's their ceiling. The Bucs are going to an NFC Championship game over the teams in the NFC right now, like the Rams and the Seahawks and the Eagles. Do you see that?
No, I don't see that at all. I think Baker's a fine quarterback. I like him to a degree. I have him above Jalen Hurts, I will say, but
on your quarterback list?
Yeah, then you want to be in Club Hurts. Come on, Sean.
Well, it's not much of a competition, I feel like, with Hurts right now. But Hurts is definitely above him. But Mayfield, he's a fine quarterback. He could win you a playoff game. I think he could get you maybe to the conference finals, but everything has to be perfect around him. It has to be a perfect situation, and that perfect situation needs a different head coach down there too.
Oh, for sure.
But that defense isn't good enough down there for him. The offense, you just lost his most trusted receiver, Mike Evans. Sure, you have a couple of young guys down there, but I don't think that they have the pieces to go far at anything. For the Bucs to do this to him, the Bucs are doing the right thing. The Bucs,
but it's ballsy they're doing it.
Well, sure, but here's the thing. You mentioned it's better to be bad than good. If he's good, you can franchise tag him for a year. You get another extra year out of it and hopefully get a deal. If he's bad, you let him walk. Then you get the
trade him,
the pick a little bit later, but obviously they're still going to tag him and then potentially trade him after.
Yeah, I heard Lincoln Riley kind of say this earlier this week about Baker. It's, a lot of the times you try to prop up your guys and like, hey, forget about the noise. He's like, no, Baker, I want you to hear the noise, because that's when he plays well, is when he's pissed off and he's trying to prove somebody wrong. So maybe this is a strategy move by the Bucs to really get under Baker's skin and say, go ahead, prove us wrong. Yeah. They go win 12 games. But I don't. That's a bold move if that is the case.
All right, let's get to the YouTube chat recap. What do we got, BP?
It's time for the YouTube chat recap.
How about filling us in?
Let me tell you something else, man.
Watch us live on YouTube every single weekday.
I can't lie.
Let me tell you something.
It's the Middays with Marks YouTube chat recap.
Yep.
Rodman should come in with a leopard or cheetah dyed hair like Dennis. Fuzzy from the chat.
Not a bad idea.
I think I dyed my hair once when I was in elementary school to like a pink color. It's probably doing like Impress a Girl or something, and it didn't come out for weeks. That's the only time I ever dyed my hair. Don't think I would dye it again.
Like, because his last name's Rodman. For the people that don't know, Dennis Rodman the worm used to dye his hair. And actually dressed up like a woman, too. Maybe you could do that instead.
Well, according to some people, I dress up as a furry, but...
How about like one curl, Rodman? Just one little curl.
No, the frosted tips, I'm not doing.
No, not all. Just one.
Just one? That would look worse.
We'll think of something. We'll think of something. All right, what's next?
So the worm is slithering his way into the B mic today, huh? This ought to be good. Money Mar from the chat.
There you go. Well, it's kind of like we had a B and a B. Right? You had Petrilli, he's running the board. You had Rodman, he's doing updates. So, yeah, like I leaned on both of these guys today.
Appreciate it. I thought we had fun.
We had a fine job. Yeah. It's a good show. We have a good club. What's next?
I like Rodman. He makes me laugh. Alex Green from the chat.
There you go. Yeah, here we go. All right, appreciate that.
So hold on, because you're funny?
I don't know.
He makes you...
or he's making fun of me. Either way, I'm making him laugh, and that's all that matters.
It's like I'm funny. I amuse you. What am I, a clown? Yeah. Right? I just wonder. No, you are funny. See, you have a dry sense of humor.
I do have a dry sense of humor.
I know you do. Yeah. Well, hey, you are funny.
We'll see. I tried to have...
Funny like I'm a clown. I amuse you.
You have that on the board?
I have that on my board, yeah.
That's good work. All right, what's next?
Ray is for sure spreading something in Wildwood this weekend, and it's not news. Tommy John from the chat.
Yeah, based on Ray's talk the other day, I don't know how much tail Ray's chasing around. Just saying. We were able to break news, and Ray went on a couple dates with a lady and didn't get, was it a third date? He didn't get past the third date.
Yeah, he went on 3, and then he kind of knew after that one.
Notice how he dropped it after you were away.
Right.
He didn't do it while you were here. He made sure that you were away for it.
Exactly.
Yeah, he was getting those brownie points. Like, I see, I did talk about it. Yeah.
And I don't get to talk about it, and he gets to use it. No, he's holding out. I know what Ray's doing. He's holding out.
Yeah, Rodman and I, we've seen Ray out in the town a little bit, Rodman more than I, but yeah, Ray does okay from what I've seen.
I mean, I saw him back in his college days.
Not the college days now.
I know.
How does he do now?
Now, he does all right.
All right?
He does all right.
All right. All right, what's next?
BP is a valedictorian graduate of the Sean Rodman School for Kids Who Can't Read Good. Money Mar from the chat.
Yeah, so if
fellas, that was tough.
We can get you a graduation cap.
And it's why I was encouraging you to, instead of you reading it, to where you have the AI voice do it. So then you just fire it. You don't have to worry about it.
Yeah, we're learning. I
don't know. Like that, it's the first time for it, and that's why it was perfectly fine. The good thing is the idea was there, and it was a good one.
Yeah,
and it was good.
I was afraid of that happening for sure, 100%. And hey, I'm okay with being in the same books as Sean Brace. The guy's a great guy, you know. As the Club Hertz president and vice president here, we have to stay together.
You do look like you have sloppy handwriting.
Oh, yeah. I'm a lefty Catholic school kid. Like, yeah, my handwriting's terrible.
Would your hands get hit with the yardsticks or rulers or anything?
He's not old enough for that.
I wasn't old enough for that. We used to, like, clean the desks and stuff like that, you know, with, like, soap or, like, you know, the foam soap. But nothing like that.
All right. Any more there, BP?
Yeah, we got last one here.
All right.
Next time, print it out, Petrilli. Don't write with your cats on your arms. If Bayless from the chat.
That's right.
Yeah, they're right. They're right. Yeah, it did probably look like chicken scratch, like cat writing. Yeah, maybe I'll have to put it up on the
I was trying to throw you before. I was trying to show you before the show. You can bring that down. That's YouTube chat recap. The last time we did this, it was it Bron or Jordan. I printed everything out and then I cut them up and then I folded them up. So I didn't know which one I was picking, so it was at random. So there was no worry of like, oh, well, he went 2 in a row Jordan, so he's got to go a LeBron right here. Everything I picked up came from this bag that I had. But I printed them out and cut them up and then folded them. So that would have been my advice to him is don't just have it on a notebook. Just like almost prepare separately. Did a great job. You both did a great job. I appreciate it. Good job, Sean.
Appreciate it.
Nate and Dutsy, as always, in the back doing a great job. Everybody have a great weekend. Coming up next, Unfiltered, Ricky Batalico, Bill Calarulo. Talk to you Monday. See you.